1, 2. Kindly let's maintain silence. Kindly let's maintain silence. Once again, welcome to the Presidential Debate 2024. And on stage, we are having the treasurer candidates who are Tracy and Victor. A round of applause as this begin. Thank you, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So I'm going to hand it over to the moderators to pick it from there. Thank you.
Hello. Hi. So please
Hi.
introduce yourself. Please introduce. Okay. So please introduce yourself. State your name, the school you're representing, and the position you're vying for.
One, two, one, two, one, two, one, two. One, two, one, two. One, two.
1, 2. Afternoon, Daystar. My
Can proceed.
Good afternoon, Daystar, once again. My name is Tracy Nambuya Mutwa, a student in Daystar, doing economics as a major. I am in my second year, second semester, and I am vying to become the next DUSA treasurer.
Proceed. Silence.
Thank you. Thank you. My name is Victor Jesse Andola.
Kindly.
Kindly, let's be silent.
Thank you.
My name is Victor Jesse Ondola. I'm from the School of Business and Economics. I take Bachelor of Science in Economics. I am an accounting student and a professional in making. Today, I'm an aspirant.
Kindly keep quiet.
I am an aspirant for the DUSA treasurer position.
Supporters, thank you so much. Let's reduce on that. We understand you're supporting these people, but we need to maximize on time. Kindly. Okay, so do you understand your duties and responsibilities as mandated by the 2019 Constitution? We're going to start with Victor. If so, kindly state them.
Thank you. I fully understand my duties according to the Constitution, Daystar University 2019. One of the functions of the DUSA treasurer, also the finance secretary, is to make a budget, the DUSA budget, in consultation of the council. The second one is to submit the budget to the Congress for final approval. Another function is to ensure that all the books of accounts of DUSA are updated, give a periodic report for the expenditure of the council, preferably monthly. The DUSA treasurer also acts as the financial advisor of the council, and again should give audit or do an audit for all council members, either periodically, that is monthly, or yearly. Thank you.
Okay.
Silence.
Thank you so much, Victor. We're going to proceed to Tracy. Same question. Do you understand your roles as mandated by the 2019 Constitution? If so, mention them.
Thank you so much.
Silence.
I fully understand the roles and functions of the DUSA treasurer. The first one is to prepare the DUSA annual budget in consultation with the council. The second one is to submit the approved budget to the council for further approval. The other one is to work in conjunction with the Audit and Risk Committee. The Audit and Risk Committee will be able to audit the association's accounts. Another one is to prepare monthly statements for the council.
Silence. We advise you to stamp your feet if you feel like you want to support them that much.
Okay, back to you. So according to you, what is a successful Daystar budget?
Thank you. A successful Daystar budget is a student-centered budget whereby the students are consulted during the budget making process. Then in continuation of the budget making process, we constructively include the administration, because we all know that the financial resources that we need to run the budget are from the school administration. For me, it should be student-centered, but in consultation with the administration.
Silence. I repeat, kindly stamp your feet if you feel like you want to support someone, or you'll be thrown out.
Okay, okay. So same question to you, Tracy. So what is a successful Daystar budget according to you?
Okay. As the DUSA treasurer, I believe that Hello. 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 One, two. 1, 2. Okay. As the DUSA treasurer, I believe that this position is to manage the students' finances. And in managing the student finances, a successful budget is one that, as an economic student, I understand that the resources are few, but the DUSA treasurer must ensure that the students receive adequate services from the office, that they should not be able to realize that there is change in the events and in the services that have been provided. With be able to working with what we have, I know I will be able to ensure that the students get excellent services.
So this this warning goes to the supporters of any team member that is going to be representing you up here. So the moment you're going to use your voice to intimidate the other person, the other party, aspirant, we're going to disqualify your aspirant. Thank you. So the next question, silence please. Thank you. So the next question goes back to Tracy. What is going to be your criteria for financial allocation to various offices in the council as you prepare the annual DUSA budgets?
In preparing the DUSA budget, there are different dockets. There is the presidential docket, there is the secretary general docket, and you need to sit down with the council to be able to come up with a budget for the whole school. Because here you are working with the governor, the secretary general, and as the treasurer, it is not in my docket to do such an event such as Fund Day. So here I will work with the...
Allow me to interject you. I'm not asking about the events. I'm asking what is going to be your criteria for allocation of funds to different offices when doing the annual DUSA budget?
Okay. So yes, that is why I'm telling you, you have to work with the other council. This is because as the treasurer, the work of the treasurer is to create the annual budget. But in creating the annual budget, it's not only for the treasurer. So these events come in when you're arranging with the SG. That's why I'm telling you, the Secretary General comes in with his events. So these events are the ones that come up with the DUSA. They are the ones that make up the DUSA budget. So yeah.
I don't really think you got my question. We are not specifically talking about the office of the SG, sorry. I would like you to understand there's the office of the SG, there's the office of the president, we have the governor, etc., etc. My question is, what is the criteria for allocating these finances to these different offices.
I have a question for you as well. Have you looked at the DUSA budget?
You can't ask me a question, kindly.
Okay, okay.
Thank
Time
you.
is up. Time
So-
is up.
Let me tell you, when you look at the DUSA budget, it has different dockets. The presidential docket, the deputy president's docket. These dockets make up the DUSA budget. So I cannot just wake up one day and say I am creating the annual budget for the school. So yeah, working together is a criteria.
Time is up. Time is up.
Okay, your time is up. So the next question goes to Victor. How are you going to protect finances entrusted to you through and in your capacity for the good of students, in your capacity as the treasurer if elected?
Thank you. The DUSA treasurer is the financial advisor for all council members. I'll ensure that before any budget is initiated, I give financial advice to all the council members. That is number one. Number two,
Silence.
Number two, I am an intern doing auditing and keeping books of accounts. My skills will help me to ensure that all DUSA books of accounts are as per the regulations and standards of accounting. And therefore, using that, I'll ensure that all resources entrusted with me to run DUSA is not mismanaged or embezzled. Thank you.
So the next question goes to Tracy. So as a treasurer, as a treasurer, you have the power to advise, just as Victor mentioned. How are you going to assist the management in adjusting in the new approaches that you'd advise for the good of the students in regards to finance, providence, and allocation?
Thank you for the question. In that question, in coming up with an appropriate budget allocation, to help with the administration, terms, finances.
Let's give her time to speak, kindly. Thank you.
In coming up with an appropriate budget allocation with the administration, here you have to ensure that you have the what this budget requires for these finances requires for what. So you have to ensure that you have prioritized your events. Here you ensure that the students are able to, the students' events per se, they get all the finances well.
Kindly finish, you're giving you 30 more seconds. You're done. Okay.
Back to you, Jesse. So what mode or maybe type of way do you have that you can use to put all these finances to be as credible? Maybe when one wants to get back to like you giving out like you use these funds to do this kind of event, like credibility of how you're going to do your work.
Thank you. The way I'll ensure that I'm going to run, if elected, I'm going to run a transparent DUSA Treasurer's Office, which is student-centered. Credibility of this is by ensuring that all my monthly expenditure reports will be accessible by students. Because we have had instances where prices are overrated or there are reports for tenders which have not been awarded. So therefore, since the students are the main shareholders of the financial resources given to us by the administration, I'll ensure that they have access to these reports monthly, so that in case of any questions, they may have the chance to raise them in the relevant offices. And this one we are going to do is in this way. We'll have, in my audit and risk committee, I'll ensure that we have an IT guy whom will help us to come up with the forms, which for you to get access to these forms, you will have to use your student number. It doesn't demand much to be credible. It doesn't demand much to be transparent. So therefore, I want to assure students that I'm going to run a DUSA Treasurer's office, which is very credible and very transparent, to not only bring trust to the students, but also to the office. Thank you.
Okay.
Silence, silence, silence.
So the last question. Okay, so this question goes to both of you. How do you plan on raising extra funds that can be used in your dockets for the students? Start with Victor.
Thank you. That is a very critical question. We all know that financial resources are ever limited, and we have unlimited ones. Therefore, I have done it before. The main way of raising extra funds is through proposals. And I'm talking about professional, beneficial, and important proposals. In my...
Silence, silence, silence.
In my plan, I'm working to ensure that if elected, I present all my proposals before the beginning of the next financial year, so that all these corporates, all these organizations out there may consider my request before they begin their using their next budget. So therefore, it is the main way to raise extra funds, to run events, to run all activities within DUSA, and I have done it before. It is doable, and even this year we did it, and we were awarded extra funds. Thank you.
Okay. Silence, please. Silence. Yes, Tracy. Same question.
Okay. Here we can use partnerships, both from the students and from outside sources. Here, there are very many brilliant students who have very many partnerships with other people whom I might not know and you might know. So working with the students who can help chip in with the partnerships from the students and from outside sources. You can also use proposals as well. Proposals, you can go out and pitch your proposal to organizations, to other people who will be able to influence and help in the events.
Okay, well, this is the last question. So, in your opinion, which department do you think, in your DUSA, okay, which department or sector do you think needs more funds, or how will you distribute the finances?
Thank you. I have been around DUSA, and I can state it clearly that I don't have favorites in terms of departments, but it is true that all departments under DUSA are underfunded, okay? So, all these departments are underfunded, and therefore it begins with proper financial planning, proper negotiations, and also building the trust with those who are giving us financial resources so that we may be added funds. So therefore, as it is now, we have a formula to distribute all our financial resources. I'm not going to come up with another formula, but we are going to work on our negotiation skills and a plan to mobilize for more resources for DUSA.
Silence, silence.
Okay. Back to you, Tracy. Kindly, let's keep quiet, please. Back to you, the same question.
As a leader, you have to ensure that every docket in the school receives adequate money and is spread fairly and just. In preparing the annual budget, there are different dockets in the DUSA budget. Each has their own allocation according to different events and what they do. So I won't say like a specific docket, but I will say that I will ensure that each docket receives the finances fairly and just.
Thank you.
Okay, so we are going to take it back to the facilitator.
Okay, thank you so much. So this is when we're going to have a Q&A from the audience. So I'm going to pick only 3 questions that you will come and direct it to either or both of them. So 3 questions, first come, first serve. Just come here. Anyone with a question for our treasurer candidates? Kindly just make your way here. Anyone from that side? Make your way here. I'm only picking the first 3. Strictly 3, I mean.
Okay, my question goes to both of you. How are you going to ensure that the finances, they are not misused?
We respond.
So my question is, what motivated you to apply for the position of being a treasurer?
Hi, my question is, you have stated that our needs are vast and the finances are not as vast. And you have stated that you would go on with the proposals to actually get more funds for different needs. Say a specific school or department needs extra funds. What are you actually in the power to actually help the specific school or department in whatever projects they have, as long as they benefit the school? Thank you.
I said 3 questions. Thank you.
So to our candidates, kindly proceed and answer accordingly.
Thank you. Thank you. The first question was that how am I going to ensure that the DUSA finances are not misused? I am someone who cannot be easily manipulated, and I am a professional in the field of finance. I'm going to ensure that I clearly advise the council members on how to use their resources. I'll also promise them that I'll ensure that I'll do professional audits, irrespective of the friendship we have. I believe that making that clearly will make all council members remain on course and adhere to the specifics of the budget. Let me make it clear that I'm not threatening anyone, but it doesn't demand much to do what is right. It doesn't pay anything to overrate prices. Neither does it demand much to be truthful. The next question was that what motivated me to vie for the DUSA treasurer. I have served in the Audit and Risk Committee. I have served in administration, but I have always given advices on how we can ensure credibility and transparency in the office of DUSA. Some of my advices haven't been implemented, and since I checked I realized that I still have time in Daystar. I made an informed decision to go for this seat to ensure that the few advices I made that were not implemented, I made them myself to bring change to the DUSA Treasurer's Office. The last question was on proposals. I want to make it very clear that in my engagements with the congressmen and ladies, everybody wants to do an event, and they are asking on how to be supported towards that financially. Truth be said, I'll not have my personal money to finance all this, but yes, I'll do resources to any leader in Daystar of goodwill who have interest of students at heart. So that is the same thing I have told all the congressmen whom I have talked to, that yes, all my proposals will not only be the proposals for the council members, but also for the congressmen, to ensure that at least we have schools that already do events. We have those who haven't even done any event. But progress step at a time. I'll ensure that while drafting all these proposals...
Kindly summarize.
While drafting all these proposals, the interest of the congressmen are also included.
Okay. Thank you so much, Tracy.
In the question concerning how the finances are not going to be misused, here you have to enhance financial transparency, trust, and accountability. Working with the Audit and Risk Committee, and I am talking about a strong and consistent Audit and Risk Committee, we will be able to audit the school accounts, and here we will be able to ensure that the finances of the students are well managed. In the question of what motivated me to vie for the DUSA, the DUSA treasurer, here I have a passion. I have a passion in leading, and in any position in the school, I want to become a servant leader and lead the school. And here I want to enhance excellence and transformation.
Thank you so much. A round of applause as they go to sit down. Silence. Thank you. I'll repeat one of the house rules that were there. Do not cheer or jeer when the candidates are talking. You can only cheer or jeer when they're walking towards the stage and coming down, kindly. So we're going to the next docket. Without wasting time, we're going to the ISADU president. William Mayen Deng, make your way to the stage. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you very much. A reminder before William starts, silence. A reminder, if you want to clap for him, kindly stamp your feet. That's very professional. Thank you. To the moderators, you can take it over.
Kindly, let's keep quiet. I'm asking you to introduce yourself, the major you are taking, in which year are you, and also maybe your nationality. Yeah.
Thank you so much. My name is William Degman. I'm a South Sudanese by nationality. I'm doing a bachelor degree in international relations and security studies and doing minor in Kiswahili. I'm in my third year, second semester. Thank you so much. God bless.
Here is the first question, and this question goes to be like, you as the aspirant for ISADU president, what do you think you'll do different that has not been done by the previous ISADU president?
Thank you so much. One of the challenges affecting international students also is education docket, because if you look at it clearly, the major STEM that is taken us here in Daystar University is education. When you look at GPA is a crisis, you realize that the large majority of us don't even participate in various seats which when they are announced so that international students, they can participate even in politics, be it Congress, and so on and so forth. The other thing also is, one of the challenges also is drugs. Drugs are major challenges, and we have lost, like last year, I was affected personally. I lost one of our dear beloved South Sudanese, who was shot dead in Portland on the other side, and he happened also to have a bar. He has opened a bar outside there. We never knew it. If we knew it, we could have keep abreast with such issues and keep his school informed so that we don't want to lose anyone here, because we are entrusted to come to Daystar University to acquire education so that we can go back and make a permanent contribution.
Then I think you deviated a little bit from what you were asked. The question was, what are some of the successes of the previous government, that is the ISADU president, and what are some of the faults that you noted, and what are you going to do different?
Okay. The last ISADU leadership, they have tried their best. They have worked very well. I can admit that. When it comes to issues, when the events are being carried out, of course, they were conducted properly, and most of the students normally come, except in some instances whereby, like for example, ISADU dinner, sometimes the prices are skyrocketed when they are being done, and some of the students shy away, like for example, 2,800 for an international student who might not have such an amount of money, so people shy away. But indeed, the events are one which ensure us to converge together so that we be happy, explore our diversity, interact, and begin also to mentor each other, and begin also to advise each other, and we enjoy together so that we can be able to encourage one another.
Okay, so in less than a minute, please explain to us one of the ways that you think you're going to regulate and ensure that international students get to spend the limited time they're supposed to spend in doing their course. For example, you have students who come here for a degree, supposed to take 4 years and end up taking 7 to 10 years. So how are you going to ensure that international students who have come to Daystar, silence please, let's maintain order. So how are you going to make sure that they get to do what brought them here in order to finish their course in the required time?
Thank you so much. As I stated earlier, that one of the core STEM that is taken us here in Daystar University is education. As a leader of international students, I will always ensure that in my SADU committee, I will bring credible people who inspire and encourage people, and also elicit information in a way whereby it can be channeled to relevant authorities within Daystar University, so that the international student issues are listened to, understood, and they can also be helped, so that we don't need any international student to live here more than 5 years. They should come within the maximum time so that they can study here. Any issues affecting international students, it is my priorities to reach out to them, to seek information, not put it in a way, don't take information in a way whereby I can use it to belittle them, but I will use it so that they can be able to be held within the relevant docket and relevant authorities.
Okay. So, I have this question. I'd wish you to like kindly tell us your roles in the ISADU, maybe as a president, if you'd be. What are your roles as a president of ISADU?
Thank you so much, Shaban. One of the roles is that to represent our dear beloved Daystar international student in the DUSA Council, to perform any duties assigned to me or allocated by DUSA, to keep abreast with issues affecting Daystar international student, and keep the council informed, and ultimately to preside over the meetings and events of international students.
Okay, so we've been having instances where we have international students' visas, educational visas expire, and they don't know what to do next. What's your understanding on the procedure of helping these students get their visa renewed and proceed with their education?
One, I will ensure that I work closely with the Spiro office so that we can be able also to ensure that the international students are consistently living legally harmoniously with the Constitution of Kenya, so that no one should be discriminated, no one should be able also to go astray. Our work is to make sure work closely with the Spiro office and ensure that if there is someone who documents are not legal, they are authenticated. I will ensure also I appoint some of internationalities across some of our nationalities, like whether Tanzania, Uganda, South Sudanese, those people who can be able also to link us. We can work together in various embassies and inform them also. We have our students here in Daystar University. They are pursuing education, and it is a very vital engine that can go and make a difference. So please help us, and I will work closely with Daystar University, school administration, that all international students feel at home within our institution. The documents are updated, and they feel happy that they are acquiring and enjoying the education here in Daystar University.
Okay, so the next question is this. Normally, we have international students during holidays, and they don't go to their homes, that is. So what would you do about that by bringing them together? Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's a very concern. It's a deep concern. I came here 2022, and I saw that trend during Duke reign. I saw it also during Metho's time, and I saw it also during the reign of our dear beloved Elizabeth Asholmaker, the ISADU president. That has been an issue. It is my role, and it is my responsibility to make sure that international students in ISADU WhatsApp group, those people who are remaining, we make sure we obtain the names, the admission number, and all the details, the credential. And we will go and beg with the Spiro office, with our dean office, and with all the relevant officers here within Daystar University, that international students are helped, are supported, so that they are the first people to market this institution. When they feel good about Daystar University, I can assure you, Daystar University, they will market say Daystar University is really indeed an international institution. And they are caring about us. And because of that, the large majority will come and Daystar will have many students here.
Silence. Order. Thank you so much, Deng. To the last question, as an international student representative, you are mandated to integrate and be the force behind the international students and the local students, unifying and making it a diverse Daystar. So what is your plan in ensuring that this diversity happens under your watch?
Thank you so much for that question. I myself, most of the time, international students see Kenyan like rowdy. They see them as those people who are not peaceful. But I can assure you, when you look at me, I have been raised here in Kenya. I am peaceful. That means that Kenya is a peaceful nation. I am a person also who is network. So the point here is that I will ensure that the event we normally carried out, we organize in a way whereby most of the large majority of international students are interested to get engaged and involved. And we also ensure that the Kenyan students are part and parcel also. They have to come to these events and enjoy together. We enjoy together, we mingle together, and we interact and ensure that we understand each other. And above all, we'll build solidarity, we'll build networking, we'll be bonded, and above all, we shall leave this institution, Daystar University, as people who are completely transformed, as people who are completely excellent to go and make a permanent contribution in our various countries we emanated out from it.
Okay, thank you so much, Deng. I'm going to take it back to the facilitator.
Thank you so much. I will repeat the house rule that says you're not supposed to cheer or jeer when the candidate is up there. You'll be kicked out. So this is the Q&A session. We're going to get strictly 3 questions from the audience. First come, first serve. Mtetezi, you can come. Yes? Not this one. Okay. Any other person with a question? Yes, there's one. I'm taking 2 more questions from the audience. And we also have an online audience, by the way. You can follow it on Daystar University's live YouTube channel. And in case of any questions, the director will tell us. Yes, you can actually come. One more question? Going once? Okay, sawa.
So my question is, this is coming from one of my close friends who is an international student. So the question is, the one thing she'd like is to be included. And she feels like Daystar secludes international students. Like, first of all, why is there 2 different culture weeks? So that's one thing I'd like to ask. Are you going to ensure that international students are made one? Like, can you hear me? Yes. Who's this? Yeah. So how can we ensure that international students are included? It doesn't have to be that we have to come for a whole other different culture week for international students, yet a culture week is for all cultures, and all cultures are meant to be showcased. Yes. Because we are one Daystar.
Thank you so much. As a leader of international students, it is my role to interest international students to get engaged, participate, and showcase the heritage. Because in Daystar University, we cherish all the culture. All cultures, we cherish them. And it is my role to make sure that all international students from various nationalities, to interest them, to ensure that they don't shy away, to ensure that they come out boldly, so that they can participate, can demonstrate the heritage. They can show the culture, that we will cherish them and appreciate, and we shall enjoy our staying here in our dear beloved Daystar University, and ensure that many international students will always take Daystar as the first institution of their own choice.
Hello, Daystar. Okay, William Deng,
Yes.
you are the best candidate for this position. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. A round of applause as William Deng goes to have his seat. Thank you so much, William. All the best. Thank you so much. I'll repeat. If someone says something pleasing to your ears, you're requested to stamp your feet. Kindly, let's be professional. And you are allowed to cheer or jeer when someone is going on the stage and coming back. So, we're going to introduce the next docket. Are you guys ready for the campus secretaries? Silence. So, we're going to start with the campus secretary, Nairobi campus. And our candidates are Benedict Sogomi. A round of applause for Benedict Sogomi as he heads on the stage. Silence. And the next candidate is Sharon Musyoki. Kindly make your way to the podium. Thank you. Kindly remember, if you don't adhere to our rules, you're going to be kicked out. Thank you. I will hand it over to silence. I will hand it over to our moderators. Thank you.
Order, please. Thank you. So we're going to go straight into it. Please introduce yourself, state your name, the school you represent, and the position you're aspiring.
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Sharon Musyoki. I'm a third year PR student, and I'm vying for the Nairobi campus governor seat. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Benedict Sogomi. I'm a student at Daystar University, Nairobi campus. I'm pursuing a major in international relations and security studies. I'm vying for the position of the Nairobi campus governor. Thank you.
This question goes to Benedict. Same to Sharon. We're going to start with Benedict. Do you understand your roles as mandated by the 2019 Constitution? If so, state them.
Thank you. And it's very valid you mentioned the 2019 Constitution, because under it, there are various roles under the secretary, the campus secretary. And there are various, there are about 11, and I will mention a few of them. One is I'll be in charge of the welfare and the extracurriculum activities, work and liaise with the deans of students to coordinate sports activity in the campus. 3, I will have to write proposals to look for outside funding to ensure that we finance the various budgets in the sport activities. And then also I will have to chair the sports and the recreation committee. I will have also to champion for fair prizes of food in the campus. Also, the good thing is Nairobi, we don't have boarding students, so that's a little bit out. So those are some of the various responsibility of a secretary campus in Nairobi campus. Thank you.
Thank you, Benedict. We move straight to Sharon.
So for the roles of the governor for Nairobi campus, the there are three main pillars that I will be working on. The first one is the social welfare of the students inside the campus, co-curricular activities, which includes the clubs and association, as well as the sporting activities for the students. Thank you.
So back to you, Benedict. Which are the common challenges that you see, you know, that students in Valley Road campus are facing, and how will you deal with that, with the various challenges?
Silence, guys, silence.
Thank you so much, Mr. Moderator. I've had engagement with students. First of all, I'm a student. And there are various things I'm going through, right?
Silence, silence. Give him time to speak.
And one is communication. Events are happening in school. A lot of students do not know. And mark you, yes, there are sense in the emails, but we are living in Gen Z generation. Most of them are not so intentional to look at their emails. So, as a leader, how do you help them to access information? Two, the quality of food in our campus and the prices are over the roof. They are complaining. Three, we have an issue whereby a lot of students are going through things, mental issues, fighting things. Four, we have whereby students, instead of being included on the table, for them to chat away for how to make our campus vibrant, they are put on the menu.
Time is up.
That is not right.
Okay, so the next question goes to Sharon. Before we go to Sharon, let me go back to Benedict. You mentioned that the prices of food, especially for students, is very high and making it hard for them to afford. We do understand that we're living in a very hard economic time, especially in Kenya, and it's a crisis that is affecting the whole country. Yeah. So how are you going to ensure, or what ways do you think that the national government couldn't help with the finances and the food, reducing on the prices, that you think you can do for Daystar students?
First and foremost, the different canteens that are in Daystar Nairobi campus, they are there, they exist in business to make money. Let's be very clear. And I'm not a politician to lie to you that we will go close them down. That's a lie. That's not the way to approach things. I don't believe in that, right? What I will do is, let's call the relevant stakeholders, right? Let's call all the relevant stakeholders. We sit them down. The first question we ask, why is the food so high? The second question we will ask, is there anything we can do to solve that? And from this discussion, because negotiation is power, from the negotiation table, we will understand the juice now is 8able. Can we reduce it to make 70? And when we have a negotiation, it's also my responsibility to go back to the students and let's have a honest conversation. The way you've mentioned, things are high, but we have come to a place, we have reached a compromise from 80 to 70. And I believe as I've interacted with our students, they will accept that. Won't you accept that?
Time is up, time is up. Thank you.
Okay, so the next question goes to Sharon. Please name the different or the various committees that are under your docket.
So under the campus secretary Nairobi campus, we have 3 committees: the sports committee, the social welfare committee, and the clubs and association committee.
Okay, thank you. So my follow-up question will be, what is going to be your criteria in selecting the committee members in these different committees that you've mentioned?
Okay, so I can start with the sports committee. For the sports committee, first I will include sportsmen and women who are actually playing in the sports. The reason is because these sportsmen and women are the people who are engaging in the sports, so the people who are going to climb the bus and go for this, the various tournaments and go for training. These are the best people to be able to speak to me and tell me what their fellow colleagues and team players are facing as challenges. And for the social welfare committee, I will also choose students who are very active in school, people who know what happens around school, and people who are in different, for lack of a better word, cliques, so that they can be able to reach to each and every student and not to only choose a specific few. And for the clubs and association committee, I will also include members of various clubs and associations so that they can tell me how to better engage them to reach other students so that they can get more members and be more active. Thank you.
So back to you, Benedict. She has mentioned a number of committees, and my question goes specifically to the sports committee. Okay, we have these Falcons players who are performing very well. So what do you have in mind that you can do to support them as they soar higher nationally and even internationally?
A very great question. First, I'm a lover of sports. One thing is, first we have to identify those players. Are they playing professionally or for fun, right? When we find those who are playing for professional, we start chatting a different way. The different way is we start grooming them. How do you negotiate for a contract? How do you stay disciplined as a player for you to get opportunities? And two, we go also to the management. We sit down with the deans of students, we sit down with the VC, and also chat away. How can we encourage our students? Is there a way we can go, maybe say the best students, if we perform, if you reach certain level of performance, your school fees will be covered or this will be done. And then remember, another responsibility under my role is to seek for partnerships. And I know people who are ready to invest.
Time is up. Thank you so much. Time is up.
The next question goes to Sharon. We've had incidences where some of the Falcom order.
Silence.
Thank you. We have had instances where some of the Falcom team members don't have their kits and the necessary equipment they need to play for school. What are some of the ways that you're going to implement or do to ensure that all these needs are catered for?
Thank you for that question. First, I'd like to commend the current players of the various sports people, the various sports teams, the sportsmen and women. I'm really impressed as they carry the flag of Daystar and their unwavering spirit. So first, I'd like to acknowledge the fact that we have players who go out of their own way to use money from their pocket to pay for fare and to even pay for meals for their fellow team members. We even have a player from Daystar City who even takes the initiative to wash the kits for his fellow team members. So in order to ensure that we have enough kits and equipment for the school, the first order I would first seek audience with the Office of the Sports Officer, Mr. Masiga, and specifically Madam Rachel in Nairobi campus. These are the two people who are relevant to be able to hear our grievances and to table the detailed budget of all the equipment that we'll need. And lastly, I will also seek partnerships. Previously, we've had Kwetu sponsoring some kits in Daystar City, and I'm sure they're up for more engagements and more partnerships in order to better our team. Thank you.
Silence, silence.
I'm very much informed that you were in Congress before, and now that you are vying for the campus secretary position, I believe you've seen you've experienced various challenges in your docket, and so you vying as a governor, if you get this position, what will you do for these various schools?
Okay, thank you for that. As a former, rather outgoing Congress member for the School of Communication, I faced some challenges. Maybe I'd speak to maybe something like the budget for various activities that we wanted to hold or that we held. As a campus governor, I am aware that I am a council member and I have access to the Dean of Students and other departments such as the DVC, ARSA, and financial. So for that, I will help the various Congress members. If they have any challenges accessing these offices, I will hold their hand, get to know all the info that they need, and air their needs and wants to the various offices in order to have a smooth planning for events and execution of the events.
Okay, thank you so much, Sharon. The last question goes to Benedict. What qualifies you for this position?
A very important question. What qualifies Benedict to vie for this position? One, I believe in leadership, a competent leadership. Two, it's transparency. Three, it's accountability. I believe in leadership where we are supposed to be accountable to various stakeholders. Four, the most important one, which any leader has to have, it is love. If you are doing this, because at the end of the day, the office of the campus secretary will drain you more than it gives you. And if you're not doing it out of love, that's where we will have incidents where when a budget is allocated, you take the money, you put in the pocket, or at the first 3 months or the first 1 month, you have an iPhone. Yet you are doing that.
Time is up. Thank you.
Okay, so over to you, Victoria.
All right. Thank you so much for the questions to the moderators. Silence. I will repeat. Do not cheer or jeer when the candidates are here. So we're going to get 3 questions from the audience. Kindly, the first 3 questions only. One last question. Silence, kindly, silence. Okay, Karibu.
Thank you so much. My name is Chris Zander, an outgoing Congress School of Arts and Social Sciences. My concern with the governors is integrity, readiness, and hypocrisy. A leader must give a listening ear to their constituents, and it does not matter what you stand for as an individual. Your constituents have the final say. On the 21st of November 2023, excuse me, I'm asking the question. I have 2 minutes. Madam Sharon Musyoki, you stood in front of the House and gave the submission. You are the only Congress who gave submission that elections ought to be moved in September.
Chris.
Evidently, no, it is going to substitute to my question. Evidently,
please, let's not deviate from the agenda of the House.
Yeah, I'm asking my question.
Kindly go straight to your question and state your agenda. Thank you.
Evidently, you are not ready to become the governor of this. Check.
Hey,
hello.
Chris.
I'm asking my question.
Chris, kindly. Chris, kindly listen to me. I need you to go direct to your question. And no history, we have no time, so go direct to your question. No pressing anything, just go direct to your question.
May Sharon Musyoki expound to us how she's going to maintain integrity, transparency, and accountability when evidently she doesn't have any of that.
Silence. Thank you.
Order, thank you.
Kindly to the audience, avoid personal questions because it will lead to you being thrown out of this place. Thank you.
Order.
We're going to take the next question. I repeat, avoid personal questions. Thank you.
Silence. Order.
Okay. Okay, my name is Mtetezi. I was vying for governor also, but I was disqualified. I have a question. My question goes to Musyoki. Musyoki, at first you applied as the deputy president for Henry, and later on at the end you withdrew your candidacy. How are you going to trust with that office? And at first you are disqualified with the ECD, and later you are renewed back.
Silence. Avoid personal questions. Excuse me. Let's be silent. I believe some people have WhatsApp numbers here. You can ask your personal questions through your WhatsApp numbers. Thank you.
Hello.
Keegan.
Hello.
A minute before you state your question.
Yeah.
Keegan, just a minute. Order. So when you're asking your questions, make sure your question shouldn't be answered by the ECD, because that question is directed to the ECD and not the candidate. Thank you.
Okay. So my name is Keegan. And my question goes to both of you. So I'm part of the Daystar Falcons, yeah? So what are you going to do to ensure that we have a basketball court at Nairobi campus? Because I believe there are so many sports people at Nairobi campus.
Silence, give them time to answer the questions. Silence, let's give the candidates time to respond to your questions. Benedict, you can go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Keegan, for that very valid question. And that's the thing a lot of students were asking. Look, we have a small space, and cars are parked all over. We cannot have a basket court. And I went thinking and doing research. And one of my responsibility is to seek for partnership, right? There is Rescos, which is under our former President Uhuru Kenyatta. It is my responsibility to write a proposal, right? Give us 100 by 100 or 100 by 150. And then our responsibility as Daystar is to build a court there or anything else. What we will need is only a bus to take us there. And if
let's give him time to answer. Thank you.
And if that does not work, we talk to Mr. Busiega, who is in charge of security in Nairobi campus. During specific days, we can mark specific places where we ask them not to park cars so that our students can have a good time for 1 or 2 hours. They do their game, and then we go home.
Time is up. Thank you. Sharon, you can proceed to answer your questions.
Thank you for the questions. I'd first like to seek clarification from the panelists. The moderator had mentioned that the question was directed to ECD, so am I in a position to answer the second question?
There's a question from Chris Zander about integrity, accountability, and transparency. That's the only question that you can answer, and the basketball one. But the second question on how she managed to go past the ECD, that's an ECD question. So please keep on that.
Thank you for the clarification. On the issue, the first question from my fellow Congress member is about a suggestion that I made in the Congress House. So I gave a suggestion on the better planning of the election timelines if it passed to the September semester. I know it is within my rights as a Congress member to speak on a matter in the House and to air out the views of my constituents that I represent of School of Communication in Nairobi campus. The Constitution was subjected to public opinion and it did not pass. So clearly, I applied for this position and I'm ready to serve the people. Thank you.
Time is up. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much.
She has not answered one, so.
There's
about
one
the
more
Falcons,
question.
yeah.
All right.
Okay, sorry, I forgot about that. For the question from Keegan, a member of the Daystar Falcons, for that I will say we'll collaborate with the current facility that Daystar City football team is using, that is in Madaraka, to also allow our basketball team to play and to practice there so that they're fully equipped to go for tournaments. They will also be provided for transport and any other facilitation they need, from the equipment to even the first aid personnel. Thank you.
Thank you. A round of applause as they go to have their seats. Thank you so much. 1, 2. Remind you of the house rule. You're not supposed to cheer. Silence. You're not supposed to cheer or jeer when the candidates are up here. The security is going to kick you out, so kindly just be respectful and avoid personal questions respectfully. We're going to the next docket. Are you guys ready to see the candidates for campus secretary at the River Campus? Silence. So I will get straight into their names. The first one is Gabriel Ekusi. Kindly make your way to the podium. The next one is Dennis Boiwo. Kindly make your way to the podium. The next one is Collins Kabiria. Kindly make your way to the podium. Silence. The next one is George Kasemba. Kindly make your way to the podium. And lastly, we have, kindly keep quiet. The next one, we have Klaus Wanyonyi. Kindly make your way to the podium. Thank you. To save on time. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. One, two. All right. Kindly, let's maintain silence. Let's be calm. Let's avoid, yes. The moderators are requested to look at the timer so that we save on time. And for the candidates, the timer is there so that you don't waste your time. Kindly. I will give the moderators a chance to ask questions.
Okay. Let's keep quiet. Starting from the far end, going towards this way. So I want you to introduce yourself, the major you're taking, in which school are you, and which year? Yeah.
Okay, my name is Dennis Kipkembai Baiwa from the School of Nursing. My major is a Bachelor of Science in Nursing, and I am in my 3rd year. I'm vying for the seat of the governor at the River Campus. Thank you.
Yes, to you now. Introduce yourself.
All the protocols observed. Good evening. My name is Gabriel Ekusi, a third year law student. I'm vying for the position of campus secretary at the River. Thank you.
Yes. Now
Good
to you.
evening, everyone. My name is George Kasemba Joseph. I am a third year student.
Kindly, let's keep quiet.
In the School of Arts and Social Sciences, currently pursuing a bachelor's degree in international relations and security studies. I'm vying for the position of the campus governor at the River. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I go by the name Collins Kaberia, the current Congress Chair, School of Law. And my motto is accountability and transparency. I'm vying for the campus, the River Campus Secretary. Thank you.
Yes, to you.
Okay, my name is Klaus Michael. I'm a third year student majoring in community development. I'm currently serving as a congressman in the School of Applied Human Sciences, and I'm aspiring governor at River Campus. Thank you.
Silence, silence, silence. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, let's be quiet. So the first question goes to you, Klaus. What is your understanding of the position that you're vying for? What is your understanding of the position that you are vying for?
Thank you so much for that question. My understanding of this position that I'm vying, one, I'm going to ensure that I'm in charge of the social welfare and co-curriculum activities in the Daystar University. This docket is also to liaise with the Dean of Students in matters regards to rules and regulations for the clubs and associations in Daystar University. Number three, I'll be presiding over the Sports and Recreation Committee as the chair. And number four, I'll petition for the fair rental charges for students living in both on and off campus, transport, security services, and housing, etc., etc. Thank you.
Silence, silence, silence.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Order.
Kindly make sure before you step on stage, kindly make sure this is
silence.
Let's behave as if we belong to a university, kindly. Let's behave as if we belong to a university.
Facts.
Thank you.
Facts.
So this goes to the aspirants. Before you come on stage, make sure you have spoken to your supporters. Kindly, let's keep time because if we continue giving our reactions, you're going to spend more time. So let's give them the opportunity to answer as brief as possible. Kindly. So the next question is going to go to George. The next question, kindly hand him the mic. we have had instances of students raising their concerns in regards to the welfare that is off campus in regards to housing. And my question is, how do you plan on petitioning for better living conditions, especially for students living in Heri, as a campus governor who is in charge of both in and off campus?
As you talk about...
Silence, please.
You have asked me a question about housing, specifically Heri.
No. That was just but an example amongst all the hostels that we have off campus. My question is in regards to welfare.
To the welfare. Okay. As we talk about, I feel like people are not really addressing real issues. The only issues that we are addressing as a campus is only things revolving around food, things revolving around transport. I have gotten a chance to work with the previous campus governor. And through affirmation, he can tell you that we have been going around hostels off campus, trying to see this, how students are living and how their caretakers are treating them. For example, I cannot just go outside and start. For example, I cannot just go outside and start
Kindly, let's
involving
give him
myself,
the opportunity to answer.
Involving myself in businesses concerning how someone is supposed to pay the rent. But the social welfare of the student is really key. One, as we talk about the student welfare, there are students who are sleeping down on the floor. I have gotten a chance to meet some of the students.
Time is up.
They don't have mattresses, yet we have extra mattresses around this place. So I think like people are not addressing real issues concerning the house, the housing of the students off campus. So as I get into this, we are going to actually look at these matters, not only where they sleep, on how they sleep, but how they eat and how their health is.
Okay, so your time is up, but I would like to ask how? You've told us you're going to...
I have already answered through providing...
You have not answered the question directed to you. You have deviated and given us stories on what you have had and what has been happening. Kindly tell us how you're going to ensure that happens.
How that happens? We have extra mattresses. I had already talked about the extra mattresses. There are students who don't have extra mattresses. For example, they are sharing a house. Why can we not just provide the old mattresses that the school used to use? That is one. The second one is we are supposed to have students who are working in the kitchen. When it comes to food, can we try and at least add these students to the governor's list so that they can be provided with meals as they continue helping in the kitchen?
Okay, this is also back to you. Having gotten your response from the off-campus. So we have challenges also on campus, considering booking of the hostels or the conditions or anything of the sort, and also meals. So how will you go about that?
Okay, we will start by tackling the housing issue, and when it comes to booking of the rooms, as you all know, everyone who stays in the campus hostels are actually use a certain system in terms of booking. So in terms of booking, we cannot do much, but at least we can try as much as possible to look on how students are sleeping in these hostels on campus. We are going also to address the issue of the food, as I had talked about. It is not the first time that this issue is being raised. It has always been raised. Food in this institution has been an issue. I have gotten a chance to work with the governor. We have written new menus, but what do we get in return? They're not being implemented as they are supposed to. Again, we cannot bulldoze our way through the offices saying that, this is how things are going to be, but rather we are going to have a consensus with the Dean of Students.
Okay, so the next question goes to Dennis. Yes, you've mentioned that you're a nursing student. How are you going to ensure that nutrition is well taken care of in terms of standards?
Okay, in terms of the nutrition, as stated in the DUSA Constitution 2019, it is that the committee members of the food committee will be the ones to make the menu and to ensure that it is strictly followed. And you find that the members who I'm going to put in that committee are the members who understand what nutrition is. And we are going to ensure that we include the professionals who understand what nutrition is. As you know, nursing students, we learn more about nutrition. We can incorporate them inside them. And the other thing I'm going to do is that we are going to ensure that we have a forum whereby we take views from students. You find that you cannot say that this food is not nutritious if you don't have the data. So what I'm going to do is that we should have a forum where every student, either eating in the meals or not, will be able to give us their views.
Okay, thank you. The next question goes to Collins. Collins, sorry. I'll address it to George. You're George? Okay, so we're going to address it to Collins. Do you understand the needs of the students? If so, please state them in your capacity.
Yes. Hello. Oh. Personally, I can attest that I understand the needs of the students. As at now, I've been part of 3 committees in this school. I've been part of the food committee, part of the housing committee, and part
Please
of
hold your mic well. We can't hear you.
I've been part of 3 committees in this school. Part of the food committee, the housing committee, and the academics committee. In all of the committees, I've seen the issues that have come, and we have been able to solve most of them. But there are some which are major, and we need to address it with the school. For example, I can go about the food committee, whereby we have been having issues regarding the systems, the sanitations, and also the quality of the food there. I can attest to you guys, if you elect me as your incoming governor, I can tell you for sure, for the people who will put as the food committee, it will be based on merits and accountability, whereby for the issue of the system, we'll have someone from the computer science or someone who is knowledgeable about with the systems of the school, whereby they will be specifically dealing with the systems, looking at the sanitation of at the DH, whereby we'll be having someone from either the nursing school or the biomed. At the same time, we'll be working with the health committee, which is under the docket of the governor. But that is some of the issues which are under the food committee. Looking under the academics committee, I remember the last year when we went to Nairobi, when we went to Mombasa for the DUSA retreat, we were able to look at some of the issues such as the number of students who are under probation. And as the academics committee...
Time's up. Thank you.
Okay, next question goes to Gabriel Ekusi. Various committees have been mentioned here. So what do you have in place that you'll do to ensure that we have quality services from these committees?
Silence.
Thank you, Abdul, for that question. So firstly, the committees that I'm going to constitute would be based on competency. That is on individuals' competency. So I'm going to ensure that the individuals who are there are very competent people who can do the best for our institution. So what I'm going to do, a number of congresspersons whom I have interacted with, I've gotten to read their manifestos. They are very brilliant minds that when they're included in these committees, they will do the best job. For example, last year we had someone like Chris Sander, and I believe he did a very good job. So this time round, if we also have people like Beverly, people who are able to air the students' grievances in the various committees, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Yes.
So the next question is going to Klaus. As asked the previous Secretary Generals, what are the different committees in your docket, and what is going to be the criteria for you to select committee members in those committees?
Okay, thank you for that question. We have different categories of committees under the governor's office. One of them being the food committee, another one is sports committee. We have social welfare committee, we have transport committee, we have housing committee. We also have partnership committee and clubs and association committee. The criteria that I'm going to use as I'm going to choose my people to serve in the committees, Daystar University is a school. We are bounded by Daystar University. We are one family, and therefore I'm going to include every student who is merited to serve under the various committees, including the international students. Thank you.
Let's minimize on our reactions. Kindly.
Silence. Silence.
Carry on.
Okay, this next question is going to Klaus and George. Considering I'm informed both of you are Falcons. So we have this issue to do with medical cover. And when a Falcon gets to a point, maybe they are injured, and maybe they have the cover, and they are treated but not fully treated. They have to go for therapy and all that, but the medical cover is depleted. What would you do in that case? First to you, yeah.
Thank you so much again for that question. I understand very well we as Falcon players, we as Falcon students, we undergo various challenges. And with that, in my government, I'm going to ensure that all Falcon members in liaison with the sports office, we are going to ensure that every Falcon player has got a medical cover, and the school is going to ensure that he or she is treated. Thank you.
Okay, maybe to get back to you.
Silence, silence, silence.
Okay, there's a concern here. I'm asking when the medical cover is depleted, because there's a certain amount for outpatient when they go for these things. Sindio. So what will you do when it is depleted? That is the question. I'm informed.
As I've said earlier, the school is going to cater for everything for the Falcon team, regardless of who they are. Thank you.
Okay, to you, George.
Thank you very much. I am a person who likes being realistic when it comes to certain things as sports. You've talked about depletion of the insurance cover. When I myself am a victim, I got a neck fracture playing for the school team. And my cover was actually close to an end, the school cover. And therefore I could not access the Equity Afia services. So why can we not look for a certain partner? Because we're already paying the 17,500 for a certain amount, a certain time or a certain period. So why can we liaise? Because we are Falcons, we are representing the school, we are giving good results when it comes to sport. So outside here, people know that Daystar has a team. Why can we not look for other partners like Madison? Can we actually look for other partners like Britam, so that when we agree, let's market for them, and when our medical cover is over, they can actually continue to get the services. So it's a matter of partnerships and just understanding and consensus.
Okay, thank you so much, George. So this question cuts across to all of you. We're going to start with Dennis, I believe. So if elected, what do you as a leader bring to this position, and how will you go about promoting students' welfare?
Okay, thank you for that question. What I'm going to do in terms of the social welfare of the students, as you know, the social welfare involves everything that the students are doing here at school. You find that I'm going to provide that leadership in terms of all those committees that are going to be brought up to provide leadership. For example, the health committee. We have the health committee. For example, we should include all the students in such a way that if we have a student who is sick, the DUSA leadership should be aware of that, so that when there is an issue, we can be able to provide that help and leadership. What I'm going to bring in the table in terms of, as stated in the DUSA constitution, is that the governor should be able to write proposals. What I'm going to bring to the table is that I'm going to write proposals in consultation with other leaders who are going to be chosen to the committees, so that we may be able to bring funds to be able to fund our students here at Daystar University.
Thank you so much. We proceed. What do you bring to the table and how are you going to ensure the student welfare?
So, thank you very much. Firstly, the welfare of the students is very symphonic and epochal in as far as I'm concerned. I have come up with an initiative. Once I assume office, this particular initiative called Tushikane Initiative is going to kick off right away. So this particular initiative entails bringing on board various Congress persons into the Social Welfare Committee, and then under my office, I'm going to allocate some funds, say 50,000 shillings, for example, and then from the various leaders of the associations, I'm going to have a serious discussion with them so that whenever they are registering their associations, let's say for...
Kindly, let's listen to him.
I'm going to have a very candid discussion with the leaders of the various associations so that when an association is registered, say for example 200 shillings, I'm going to request for 50 shillings per head, and then I will add to the kitty that I had allocated so as to ensure that we are able to get the grievances of the various students who are affected in the various associations, both on campus and off campus, so that we are able to uplift the welfare of the needy students.
Okay.
Silence.
So we proceed to George. What do you bring to the position and how will you help promote growth for the students around you?
Okay, I want to be realistic with you. Over the past regimes, I will not say that they have not worked, but the main major area of concern has been the kitchen and transport. Some of us here will talk about transport. They don't know how people struggle. I, myself, I am usually there at around 4 to sort people who are going home on transport. What are we going to address? Are we going to assume office and address transport and food only? We have other real issues to deal with. We have been having clubs. Clubs have been under the office of the governor. They allocated 20,000 for a financial year. For instance, Environment Club, when they go out, by booking a bus only, they use 16,000. So per financial year, they are left with 4,000. What can 4,000 facilitate when it comes to clubs? Our clubs are dying. On Wednesdays, we used to have our afternoons for our clubs. Nowadays, there is no one at the PAC representing their clubs. Why are we not talking about how students are going to actually get food from the cafeteria? So please, let us start addressing real issues and stop addressing the issues of food and transport only. We have other issues to deal with.
Okay, so we're going to proceed. Silence. So the question is, if elected, what do you as a leader bring to your position that will help promote growth in the students around you?
The question goes back to the first question that you asked. The question goes back to the first question that you asked me. If I understand the needs of the students? So basically, being part of all the committees.
Kindly hold your mic well.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, so it goes back to the first question that you had asked me, if I understand the needs of the students. Being part of having taken part in all the committees that have been in this school, I've gotten a chance to understand the real issues of all the students, from the dining hall sector, from the housing sector, from the academics also. And all of them, most of them are based on the governor's docket. But at the same time, it all needs, in order to ensure sufficient progress of this school, we need to work with the other offices. Looking at the side of the academics, such schools there are some schools which do not have things like academic affairs, career affairs, whereby they do not understand their own issues. Someone could be in this school studying a course for 4 years, but at the end of it all, they do not understand where they will be going to work.
Thank you. We're going to proceed to class.
Silence.
Okay.
Silence.
Okay, as far as the governor's position is concerned, the governor is in charge of the social welfare of and co-curriculum of students in Athi River. And therefore, I, as a governor, I understand the needs of Daystar University students as I have been with them. I am a comrade and I am standing here representing the comrades. We have students who have issues doing with finance. As a Congress member, I have done that. I have ensured that we have accessibility to students who are in my school have not access to financial aid, and I'm going to help those people who have financial instability in Daystar University. I'm going to help students in terms of mental health education. I'm also going to ensure that there is a girl child empowerment and boy child empowerment in Daystar University. Thank you.
I have this question and it goes to you. You aspiring to be a governor. We have both on-campus and off-campus community, that is for students. We have these matters to do with security in off-campus. So having known that challenge, how will you go about it to solve it?
In matters security, I'm going to liaise with the police post outside the school. I'm going to liaise with the administration in Daystar University. We have challenges of street lights around the thing, and Sterling Corner and Sopepo Corner. We want to come up with street lights whereby they help students so that they can do their things. We also have issues to do. Silence. Okay, as I was saying, security matters a lot to students, and I'll also sit down with the landlords of various housing houses outside the campus so that ensure that the students are safe wherever they are, even as they stay in those hostels. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Klaus. So the last question goes to all of you. We're going to start with Klaus as we proceed. We have had concerns of outsourcing buses that are not from Daystar, and due to safety concerns, what is your opinion on the same? And if it's of any concern to you, what do you plan on doing to ensure that the needs of the students or concerns in regards to security and covers are checked? What are you going to do to ensure that the security of the students is checked? Remember, we're talking about transport in regards to outsourced buses. We've had instances of university buses crashing, having accidents, and from an understanding, we are covered under Daystar buses. So what's your opinion on us outsourcing? It's a concern. And what would you do to ensure that students are safe as we use those buses?
Silence. Kindly give them time to respond.
Thank you once more. I've also had instances of us outsourcing buses, and we have been used to outsource city hoppers. Students have complained about how the drivers in the city hoppers are taking them, and therefore I am not in that. As a campus governor, I'll ensure that we have sat down with the administration so that we can come up with one or two, if there is supposed to be outsourced, we are going to come with one or two buses that are going to be to ensure that they have student safety. The drivers are at par as far as driving the students is concerned, and they should understand that they are driving students and not passengers. Thank you.
So we have recently seen a number of buses from other universities having crashed due to a number of reasons. So I think the transport sector is a very critical area in this school. That it is something that should not be overlooked. So the outsourcing of the buses, this is something that we have to look into before calling out to them to come.
Kindly, let's respect someone's time. Let's respect someone's time. Thank you.
So like I was saying, the transport sector in this school is a very critical sector because we have seen certain issues whereby the buses have been crashing in other universities. So what happens when we are outsourcing the buses? We have to look at a certain criteria whereby we have to ensure all the buses, first of all, have speed governors, they have seat belts to ensure the safety of all the students. But all along, we also the same. We need to ensure that one of the administration or one of the council members is part of them when they are boarding the buses to ensure. Sorry.
Thank you. Your time is up. We're going to proceed to George. We're going to proceed. The question is the same. In regards to transport, what is your opinion on Daystar outsourcing buses? And in your opinion, in your view, how are you going to work on the safety of the students as we continue with the plan?
Okay, so first of all, I would like to correct one of us who said that we outsource city hoppers. The story of city hoppers was well addressed. We no longer outsource buses that are not from a licensed company. Right? Like right now, we are using Deutschmark Logistics. It's a certified company. So when you tell me that we are not addressing, when you tell me that we are actually outsourcing city hoppers, I'm really concerned. And as long as you are not at the park, at the bus park every day at 4, you cannot know whatever kind of buses we outsource. Back to your point, I would like to say that we will actually try to bring new buses, because the only concern that students have when it comes to outsourcing buses is that they are being brought old buses. But I would like to say that we are using a certified logistics company. So maybe let's say on improvement of the services.
Okay, thank you so much, George. We're going to proceed.
Thank you very much. I would like to say that the issue of outsourcing buses is something that I do not agree with. Firstly, when I assume office, I'm going to have a meeting with the manager of Daystar Enterprise Limited to ensure that our own buses are facelifted and, if possible...
Kindly, let's maintain silence. Kindly.
I will have a meeting with the manager of the Daystar Enterprise Limited to ensure that our own buses are facelifted, and if possible, we can acquire new buses, because as we are an institution of higher learning, and therefore we have the capacity to acquire our own buses instead of outsourcing. So that is something that I'm going to deal with once I assume office.
Okay, thank you so much. And lastly, we have Dennis.
Okay, thank you for your question. So I'm going to make 3 points on that. First is innovation. First, if we have innovated innovation, we have the iHub. So if the students are able to come up with ways, for example, we have an app where we can book the buses before tomorrow. Let's say, for example, if the buses are leaving tomorrow morning, we can be able to have how many students are going to travel tomorrow.
Silence.
So therefore, we are going to know how many buses are being outsourced. And then the second point is that we are going to have a platform whereby students are going to hear out their views. Are the services good? And then the services good? And then we are going to have that feedback to know whether the services are good. And finally, is that the buses that are going to be outsourced, with liaising with the management, we are going to ensure that those buses that are being outsourced are certified, and the drivers who are going to take the students are known and are well known to be drivers licensed and having a good reputation in terms of the company. And that's all.
Okay, thank you so much. We're going to take it to the facilitator.
Thank you so much. A round of applause for the questions. So we're going to the Q&A session. I'm going to take the first 4 questions. First 4 questions. Kindly hurry up. So since you've come 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you have to be limited in terms of minutes. So I'm going to give you the chance to ask. Be straight and direct to the point.
My name is Veda A. Odrin, and my question is, how is your governance going to be transparent? And what if you haven't achieved what you said? How are the students going to be enabled to participate to say that you didn't achieve whatever you guys said? Thank you.
Thank you so much. In conjunction with that question, Mr. George Ekusi and Mr. Dennis, you will get to tell us your mission, vision, and philosophy of leadership so that these congresses are able to judge you on that. Mr. Kaberi as well, you are recorded to have worked with a ghost worker before called Caleb Munyai. So it is going to be very important for you to explain to us how you are going to work with your committee when that is going to be the case.
Hello, my name is Faith Ndegwa. I'm vying for Congress School of Science, Engineering and Health. My question is to all of you. Currently, I am a student in accommodation with the school, yeah? And honestly speaking, the services offered are not equivalent to the money I have paid. How will you make sure that I get the quality that I have paid for? Also, to you, yes, you've said you would come up with something to do with an app to book spaces, to do with buses. Are you going to do it with outside developers, or are you going to liaise with DITA? And if you're going to liaise with DITA, are you going to pay DITA the same amount you'd pay the outside developers? Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Wambari. My question is about student welfare outside our campus. Last year we had an incident of where it is notorious of this area to not have electricity. We miss electricity roughly on average 3 times in a week. All the time, from morning till evening. It is becoming inconveniencing for students to keep on walking up to campus, and we do not have electricity in our own areas. So with that said, I think it would be easier if some of you came up with the ideas of how to influence the outside caterers of electricity, that is KPLC, so that we don't have to keep on missing electricity, because every time electricity disappears. In the morning when I was here, there was no electricity. Today alone, electricity has gone away twice. So with that said, what are your ideas behind that? We cannot keep on missing basic needs like electricity in the area.
So my name is Rodney Mwanje. My question goes to Kaberia and Klaus. For Kaberia, your competency as a leader has been questioned. So since you have been at Congress, I want you to elaborate a scenario in the School of Law that you're able to solve. And to also Klaus, I want to also find out your competency as a leader. There are allegations in the School of Arts that your chair has been doing hard work more than you. We ask as the students, we want a confirmation as the governor that that won't happen again. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As the coming campus governors, as you guys will be championing the social welfare of students, there is one key issue that hasn't been addressed for a while, and that is clubs. Clubs and associations are dying in Daystar. How come that a club such as St. John's have to use their 2/3 of their financial to buy a first aid kit? How comes we haven't had any events in Daystar University that have been formed from the clubs and associations? And this is something to target how the students will act in their future places. So as you aspirants, what will you do to rectify this as the clubs and associations? Thank you.
Thank you. Kindly take very few minutes to answer these questions because we don't have time. Announcement from the Transport Committee. Kindly, if you're a commuter, you have how many minutes? 10 minutes to go to the bus park. Thank you. So we will start with you, kindly, very fast.
Okay, thank you for the question. The last person asked the question, he said, we have never had an event of a club. Sometimes we have, for example, the Nursing Association. Sometimes they hold an event. What we are going to do is to empower them, and we have to source for funds. And that is a function of a governor. Another thing they asked about how I'm going to ensure that DITA creates the app, or which club is going to create the app. I said the innovative students, through any of the clubs, it may be iHub or any other club, and we are going to consult with the administration of how the payment will be made. And then another question which was asked about my vision for Daystar and my mission and my philosophy.
Kindly, Edward, as you wrap up, let's give him an ample time, please.
Okay, so my philosophy, what I have is that in unity, together we can. That if we do this in unity with all the council, we are going to make Daystar a great place to stay. And my vision is that we are going to have inclusivity for all, so that all the students are included in every activity that is done at Daystar University.
Okay, thank you. Next.
Thank you. The first question that I would like to respond to is the question on governance. That is how my leadership will enhance governance. Firstly, I would like to respond by saying that leadership is about integrity, accountability, and transparency. So, as I stated earlier on, I'm going to involve the various Congress representatives from various schools in my administration. That is in all the committees. We will have all the Congress persons. As a result, I will be able to get the views or the grievances of the students that they are going through in every school. My office will also be open all the time to everybody, so that you can come in there and everything will be in the open. So you will get to see how my governance runs. So another question that I would like to respond to is on quality at the DH. So once I assume office, the first thing I'm going to do is to have a meeting with the dining hall staff. I'm going to sit with them down and tell them that the situation at the DH is one thing, and therefore they have to do it, because we cannot compromise the welfare of the students. The food, for example, has to be of the intended quality, and therefore we cannot compromise the lives of the students.
Okay, time's up. Silence, silence.
So I will not stand in front here and lie to students and giving them promises that cannot be made. One thing that I would like to address is the club's issue that the last gentleman talked about. It is true that the clubs in Daystar are dying, and as I had addressed earlier, clubs have a lot of people who are participating in them. But you cannot say that you are giving clubs 20,000 per financial year. That means it's 10,000 every semester. It cannot work. So let us try and see how we are going to actually implement policies. May it be looking for partners to actually support our clubs and all that. So let us be realistic. On the second question that was asked about my mission, vision, and philosophy, I will not come and promise you heaven and earth as I stand here and tell you that I will bring you a new bus. That is actually out of my jurisdiction. But my vision is to see students seeking help and actually being assisted. My mission is to
30 seconds.
Okay, my mission is to actually address real issues. Let us start addressing real issues. I'm not coming here to actually address an issue of transport and food for my whole tenure. But as the young gentleman has said about clubs, let us address about issues to do with clubs and the other things.
Time.
I'd like first of all to request from the panel an addition of time, because there are a number of issues that have been brought up and I have to address all of them.
We have issues that have not been addressed at all. So please start with those, like electricity. Don't repeat what they have all said.
Okay, the issue regarding the electricity. I'm someone who lives off campus. We have faced the same issue. And the one thing that I can comment, there's an off-campus committee who are in charge of everything that happens. There was a petition that was written by one of the people in the committee. I don't want to mention names, but at the same time, I understand how the law works. We have to, in order to find a solution towards it, we have to write a petition towards the KPLC themselves for them to come here and find a way forward. We cannot pay for electricity, yet we do not get the quality of the services that we pay. On the second issue that I want to address, I've been accused of working with a ghost worker. Yes, apparently one of our Congress people was elected, and afterwards we never got to hear from them again. That was an issue that we followed up with the dean from our school, and he was able to reach out to the family. He assured us that the Congress person is safe at home, but at the same time, he'll come back to school when the time is right. But on the same note, what have I failed to deliver for School of Law? Everything there, we have been able to deliver as the two of us from School of Law, including the fees reduction. Thank you.
A reminder on the House rules. Kindly do not jeer, do not cheer, or do not boo on a candidate that is here.
I'd love to be very quick in answering these questions. Okay, I'd love to be very quick and brief answering these questions. One, I've heard of someone talking about transparency. As far as I'm concerned, as far as the student welfare is concerned, I am very transparent. I am very accountable to everything. And if I'm not going to achieve everything that I've said to the students, I'd love you guys to impeach me. I'm very wise. I want you guys to impeach me if I'm not going to achieve. Number two, concerning the services to students. Thank you. Concerning the services offered to students, I am aware that students have paid a lot in terms of fees, and they are not offered. The services are not offered correctly, and therefore I'm going to sit down with the administration to ensure that the students' welfare and the student needs are reached as far as their amount of fees is concerned. Number three, I've heard about the KPLC issues of electricity. I'll sit down with the landlords from various hostels. I'll sit down with the administration to ensure that the management is concerned so that we students have electricity off campus. Because I'm one of the students who is affected. Thank you.
Time is up. Thank you. Time is up.
I have two last questions.
Be quick.
Let me address the last two questions.
Harakisha.
Okay. I had someone saying that, okay, thank you. I've had someone saying that my chairman has been doing a lot of work. First of all, I'm not from the School of Arts. I'm from the School of Applied Human Sciences. And therefore, you can go and ask my constituents what I have done for them. Thank you. Concerning clubs and associations in Daystar University, I understand that the school has granted the clubs and associations limited amount, and therefore I'll sit down with the Dean of Students because we are liaising together so that we can increase the amount that is allocated for clubs and associations in Daystar. And number two, I'm going to liaise with the registrar so that he can bring back the time that was allocated for clubs and associations, that is Wednesdays afternoon, and it is going to be done. Thank you.
Time is up. Thank you.
Kindly, let's be civilized. Tafadhali, let's be civilized behind there.
Security, kindly. Do your work. Okay, so thank you so much to the Campus Secretary at the River Campus. Let's give them a round of applause as they go to sit down. Thank you. As we continue, kindly maintain silence, be calm. Kira, do you understand that you're in a university? In fact, it's Daystar University, not just any university. Okay, so we want to get straight into the next docket. Okay, kindly settle down because I want to introduce the next candidates. Are you guys ready to listen to your Secretary General candidates? So, as we get into it, I will request Bridget Amesa to walk to the podium. Next, I will request Collins Odhiambo to walk to the podium. Next, I want to request Bo Bedi to walk to the podium. Silence, 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 silence. Thank you, thank you. Kindly, in case you have any issues, don't communicate to me, communicate to the right channels, respectfully. So, silence, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Silence, silence, silence. We appreciate your support, thank you. Kindly, silence, silence, silence. Silence, silence, silence.
So you're going to kindly introduce yourself, state your name, the school you represent, and the position you're vying for. Silence, let's listen to him. Security guys, kindly do your job.
Security,
We
kindly
need
just throw someone out if they're making so much noise.
Kindly. You can proceed.
Daystar University, good evening.
Silence, guys, you'll be kicked out of this place.
Daystar University, good evening. My name is Bo Bedi.
Silence, guys. Silence.
Do not cheer or jeer, kindly.
Let's have one house. Let's have one house, guys. So my name is Bo Bedi. For clarification, B-E-A-U, Bo. B-E-D-I, Bedi. They call me Simba. So my first identity above everything else is a child of God. Then comes in the rest, an aspirant for the office of the Secretary General 2024-2025, a student of the School of Arts and Social Sciences, the discipline of International Relations and Security Studies.
Okay, we proceed. The next candidate.
Good evening. My name is Colin Sodiambo, law student, aspirant for SG. Thank you.
Okay, we proceed to the next aspirant.
Good evening. My name is Bridget Amesa. I am a student from the School of Arts and Social Sciences, pursuing international relations, and I am vying for the position of SG.
Okay, so we're going to start with Bridget. Silence, please. Kindly, let's be civilized, guys. Let's try and accord them the time they deserve, and let's listen to them. So we're going to start with Bridget. The question cuts across to all of you. What makes you qualify for this position?
First off, I have led in different capacities in this university, starting from the current position I'm holding of Congress School of Arts and Social Sciences, this campus. I have also led in the Daystar Model UN chapter, as well as Wildlife Club and other spaces out there. So it is quite obvious that I have the leadership skills that are required. I have also been able to achieve much in my position as Congress. So I think it's only fair for me to be accorded the chance to also go for this position, which I am capable of.
Okay, thank you so much, Bridget. We proceed to Collins.
I want to say that I'm the rightful leader for this position because of my bold and transformative agenda, which is essential ingredient for change. Thank you.
Okay. Bo?
I am qualified for this position because I believe leadership is like happiness. Happiness is a direction, so is leadership a direction. A direction to where we're going to take Daystar, a direction to where we're going to stand firm and look at our students and say, yes, we did it. Thank you.
So the question goes to Collins. Please state your roles and responsibilities in the capacity of Secretary General.
Thank you very much. My role is the General Secretary to the Student Council. I delegate duties in the Event and Communication Committee. And finally, I represent students in the Senate. Thank you.
Okay, so the next question goes to Bo. What's your take on the quality of events in Daystar University?
My three pillars are quality. Quality is part of my three pillars: quality, accountability, and transparency. So if I address the events that we have in Daystar, we recently had the SOEA event, and we saw how it went. It was organized, it was planned, there was buses provided for everything. So, however, there are issues that need to be addressed when it comes to events, such as the improvement of transport, such as inclusivity for all students to attend our events. So the events are not bad, but we're looking to take them to a scale that people will look and say, wow, we did this.
Thank you so much.
Silence, silence, silence. Thank you. Silence, silence.
Let's minimize on our reactions, kindly. Okay. The next question goes to Bridget. In what areas do you feel your predecessor failed? And how do you plan on succeeding them? succeeding in them? Sorry.
First off, it is to acknowledge that my predecessor did a good job. He did his level best as far as I'm concerned. So in the areas I think he did not do as well, I think the first area is in the planning and the organization of the Fun Day event. As students were coming back to Athi River and Nairobi campus respectively, there seemed to be a standoff with the transport at the venue. So I think in the area of transport, as he did during Soea, I think it's important to also have the school buses enlisted for transport so that if there is need to outsource, he does not outsource. For example, if it's me, I don't outsource from fully, I can use some of the school's buses. Another thing is, I think the planning of Soya seemed to be good, but the numbers of students were very low compared to the previous years. So if there's a way, partnerships...
Kindly, let's listen to her. Kindly. I don't want to mention names, but kindly, let's listen to her.
If partnerships can be sought to ensure that students attend in good numbers and still produce a quality event, it would be good.
Thank you so much, Bridget. The next question goes to Collins. In your opinion, what are some of the gaps that you've noticed in regards to planning and execution of events, and how do you plan on working on that?
Thank you very much. I think the elephant in the room is public participation. I want to indicate that before deviating from the tradition, let's say for instance, it has always been a tradition that certain events are not charged. So in the event that a particular factor comes in, such that you cannot have that event without having students paying for it, I think students must be involved in making that decision. I think that's the only issue that I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Collins. The next question goes to Bo, and it is in regards to what he just mentioned. What's your opinion on students having to pay for events that are budgeted for under the office of the SG, which is the one you're applying for?
Thank you. I don't think events should be made for the selective few by charging them. I don't think events should be exclusive for anyone. This issue of charging students needs to end. I don't stand for it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being so uncivilized. I think we can do better. The next question goes to all of you, and probably the last question.
Silence, kindly.
How are you going to ensure that both the Athi River and the Nairobi campus events are well distributed to ensure that one campus is not left out? And what will be the criteria of deciding which event goes where, which event gets what amount of money, and the implementation?
The question asked is about how the distribution of events will be equal about both campuses, across both campuses. So first off, Daystar is one university and student interests come first. So the moment we come up with the events committee, it's important to ensure that both campuses have been considered. If you look at what my predecessor may have done, he tried to balance both campuses, especially during Fun Day, there was more allocation of buses to this campus, and to Valley Road it was fewer because of the registered numbers. So I think number one, assessing the numbers of students attending the events stemming from those who have registered. Another thing is to ensure that there is proper budget allocation from the moment the council sits to ensure that the DUSA budget is put in place. It's important to assess the heaviness of both events. If it's fun day, maybe the logistics are not as much as those for Soya and such things.
Well, I would like to start by indicating that so far, the events under my docket, as enshrined under Article 8 of the Constitution, DUSA Constitution, are largely on neutral grounds. That is the Fun Day and the Soya Awards ceremony. They are mainly outside the campus. So, in the event that there will be events, I think it can be in a 1-to-1 ratio. So if one event is on Athi River, the next one should be in Nairobi campus. Then there's also a question of who are the members of these event and communication committees. I think there also has to be a balance. Thank you.
Thank you. So for me, I'd address this issue, especially on events on both sides, in just a simple way, checks and balances. Let us have checks and balances. Let's look at the larger campus. Let's look at the smaller campus. It's all one Daystar. So when it comes to logistics, all we have to do is simple planning, have a SWOT analysis. Where's the strength? Where's the weaknesses, opportunities, and we move on. So when it comes to budget allocation, there's logistics to it. Let's look at what event is more heavy. How are we going to tackle this? How are we going to bring in funds from outside? If it's partnerships, let's talk about partnerships. When it comes to the event committees, let's balance. Both campuses should be represented. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Last question. I understand that different budgets are given with the understanding that they can serve the different events that we have. In your opinion, how are you going to make it possible that these events stay within the budget that is given?
Again, once given a budget, we understand that they serve in different, as you said, different capacities. So how am I going to address this issue of, this budget is not enough, this budget does not suffice? Again, bring in people who can push our events. We can bring in partners. Let me give a practical example. Look at Daystar University. How many of us know what bank we bank with? We bank with cooperative university. So why not capitalize on that? Why not put agreements on the table, sign memorandums of understandings, and trickle in the funds for how to cater for our events? So that's how I'd tackle it. Just partnerships and agreements.
Okay, so let me have a follow-up question. A follow-up question just to understand your point clearly. So do you mean to say that it is impossible for you to stay within the budget, and that's why you have to seek partnerships and all that?
I do not know how much the budget is, but there's always going to be an influx in students. If the budget remains the same, it's not within my control, so mine is just to outsource. If the budget increases, I will limit myself within the budget. Thank you.
Okay, so the same question, the question was, is it possible for events to be conducted within the budget that is given? And if so, how?
I think it's very, very possible to operate within the budget. All right? But in the event, because of the economic factor and several other factors, prices of goods keep on alternating in, year out. I think in that sui generis case, that's where we work on the partnership. We must bring proposals to several partners that we already have. And as always, our students are the currency. They're the very, very confident individuals that can be worked with. Thank you.
I believe it's possible to have events within the budget. Number one, proper planning is required so that it is important to even anticipate the numbers of students who may register for an event or who would like to attend a particular event. In the event where the money allocated seems not to be enough, I believe it's important to seek partnerships to be able to ensure that the Office of the SG delivers quality events. And then it's also important to hear from students because students are able to, they are the main stakeholders of the government. So if students are able to chip in and give their suggestions, it would be key to ensure that the Office of the SG also delivers successful events.
Thank you. So we're going to have strictly 4 questions from, we're going to have 4 questions from the audience. First come, first serve. Kindly keep time. Remember, you're supposed to be objective.
So, I'm Victor Kiathi. So these are questions in relation to where I sit. So what is the obligation of the Secretary General to the Congress members and the House of Congress according to the Constitution? What is the obligation of the Secretary General to the Congress members and the House of Congress according to the Constitution? I'll start with Bo. You can. That is, it will cut across all the 3 of them.
So thank you very much, Kiathi, for the question. The SG in the House is an ex officio member. So basically there for observation, jogging down minutes, coming up with reports of what was discussed in the House and sharing it. I'm a spokesman of the students, spokesman of the Daystar University Students Association.
Same question. I wish to state that it is within the duty of the Secretary General to get members of the Congress in these committees for the agenda of the Student Council. Thank you.
To the best of my knowledge, the Secretary General is an ex-official member of the Council in the Congress. So they act as a link between the Congress and the Council. They also advocate for issues that the Council may have raised that the Council believes the Congress needs to act on. Thank you.
Yeah, so my name is Koech. I have a question for all the candidates. Now, how are you going to make sure that the spirit of comradeship and the power of comradeship is awakened at Daystar University, considering that we might have punitive decisions by the administration, and it is only you people who will be representing us at the Senate who are going to awaken the spirit and the power of comradeship to surpass such decisions. My other question is, you guys will be representing us at the Senate, and we have policies that have been put in place by the institution that are somehow unpopular among students. One of them is the compulsory medical insurance cover. That is, we understand that this is a mandatory comprehensive insurance cover. However, when you go to the clinic there at the Equity Affair Center, we find a situation whereby they do not even do lab tests. And yet, this is what is per se said as a comprehensive insurance cover. So how are you going to help us in addressing such a situation? Thank you.
To address your issue on comradeship, I, Bobedi, have a plan, the holistic student plan, which is centralized on students' life, which is centralized on quality, transparency, accountability. It will touch every facet of a student's life, how they will grow in campus, how they will get the good grades, sports. It touches on everything. This will push this spirit of comradeship. Also, think of Ubuntu, comrade for comrade. Thank you. Let me touch on the issue of insurance. Personal opinion. The issue of insurance is one, capitation. What is capitation? There's overwriters. Our overwriters, I understand, is Madison Insurance. So when you bring in Madison Insurance, I as the SG, I sit on the negotiating table of insurance. So can we do away with capitation? What does capitation do? It limits us students. Look at this, the Daystar City, the Daystar Falcons. They get injured, and when they go to Equity Afia, they are referred to another branch in town. And also, let's ask ourselves very practical questions. Daystar is diverse. Where is Equity Afia all over the place? It's not. So mine is to slap negotiations on the table. Let's do away with capitation. And when we do away with this capitation issue, let the fee remain 17,500. No upping of the fee. Thank you, bro.
In the spirit of comradeship and making sure that comrades' affairs are well taken of, I want to say that we have creatives among us. We have MCs, we have singers, we have, I can't really exhaust the list. So we have to involve them in our activities and get them paid. All right? Then on the issue of representing you in the Senate, I think we have to have a bold approach in this sector. If at all I get this position, I think there are several policies that will have to be revisited. One of them, the issue of NHIF cover. It does not make sense to me why I should continue paying my 500 premium, then I still pay 17,000 a year for the same health crisis that I might be in. So these are issues that we have to go back to the table and decide the way forward. Thank you.
On the question on comradeship, the office of the SG is supposed to facilitate student barazas, which create open communication channels between the administration and the students. And the office of the SG is also key to advocate for students' interests in the Senate. So with this in mind, it may be very crucial to ensure that comradeship is achieved. On the medical cover and what it constitutes of, I use the student medical cover, and to the best of my knowledge, the cover is not as comprehensive as it should be because it deliberately fails to cover some of the key areas that are important to students. So if I get the position, I will ensure that the procurement process is done well to ensure that the service providers are able to have a cover that is comprehensive, and also as a student of diplomacy to negotiate with the administration and the service providers to ensure that every cover that the student uses is comprehensive, and student-centered.
Okay, my question is directly addressed to Amesa. So, Amesa, how do you feel after the vetting? You are the only candidate studying for the SG, and now there are 2 more candidates. Okay.
Silence, silence, silence. As we said, kindly maintain silence.
Hello. Before I proceed to the candidates, I'd love to recognize the Dean of Students. Is he here? Rev Mutinda, election is a process. Now to the candidates. To the candidates, Kolo, we appreciate you, we appreciate all of you. Bo, we are with you in this, and we love you. Now to my question. I don't know why supporters of Amesa are bulging in a candidate when a candidate is asking a question. That is discrimination, and I wish to ask his question. Amesa, how do you feel now that there are 2 contestants? Because I remember... Allow me ask my question.
Silence. Ogaga,
I remember, she said this.
Ogaga,
I'm asking a question.
Please, let's ask objective questions. Silence.
Analquote awards, sihitaji mtu yeyote. Lakini mtu ambaye anavaa ESG anahitaji wanafunzi. Sasa unataka kuwa SG akina nani kama uhitaji mtu yeyote? That is my question.
What is your question, Ogaga?
The second question.
What is your first question?
My first question is...
Silence. Silence. Let's be objective. Let's try and be objective. Let's try and be objective in our questions.
You've heard my question.
Let's be objective. What's your question?
Yeah?
What's your question? That was not a question. Kindly ask your question again and let it be objective. Yes. Kindly let's listen to an objective question.
You know, I believe in women in leadership. Keep quiet. Why are you afraid? You want your...
Be calm.
Let's minimize our reaction and kindly, when you're asking questions, be objective.
Kindly.
Let's be quiet and listen to the next question.
I repeat, when you come here, please don't be personal. Thank you. We're going to get a question. Silence. We have a question from an online audience, so let us hear from her.
I'm here to represent an online audience, and the question goes to the 3 of you.
The question is from the former SG, Caleb Msando, and he is asking, what is the next creative thing that you're planning to do? He is asking, what is the next creative plan that you're coming up with? He came up with Daystar Talanta. What is yours? That's his question.
Kindly just take a minute to answer the questions.
We can start with Bridget. Kindly let's accord her respect. Let's listen to our aspirants. Thank you, thank you. Carry on.
Thank you. And I would like everyone to listen to the response that I have to these questions because they are very key. The first question was asked about how I'm feeling because I have two competitors. I am not scared of competition, and I believe in the spirit of competition. So the ECD did a merit-based vetting, and if they saw it best to have 3 aspirants for the SG position, then I do not have a say on that. Another question came, and I was quoted, for the purposes of this debate, Beverly Ogaga is my classmate, but she does not talk to me. So I'm not sure how she quoted me if she does not talk to me. And I believe that I have the required capabilities to undertake this position. The last question.
Amini Tamesa, kindly, let's
Order.
be silent. Security, do something about the noise, kindly. You can proceed.
Okay. To the last question asked by the previous SG, as much as internships and opportunities are part of the deputy mandate, I think it should be important for the office of the SG through partnerships to push for students to be able to get internship opportunities because this is a key office and it's a powerful office that can be used to ensure that student agendas are pushed forward. And maybe to have my concluding remarks, where there is no plan, there is a plan to fail. And where there is a plan to fail, there is no success. With me, there is a plan to succeed. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, still back to you. Away from what you've answered, kindly
silence,
request,
kindly, silence.
Just an understanding of the question is that the SG, the previous SG has said that he came up with Daystar Talanta. That is an example. So maybe what will you come up with? What do you have as an idea of what you'll come up with?
A Comrades for Comrades initiative. DUSA is a representation of comradeship. And when comradeship is able to provide opportunities for students, then that is an initiative that, as much as we have a placement office in the school, it's also important for students to use relevant channels to be able to push for their own interests as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Silence, kindly. Silence. Collins, you can proceed. Silence. Security, kindly. Let's give them a chance to respond. Collins, you can proceed.
My initiative for this great university will be making a river green. I think we boast of over 10,000 students. If we can make sure that before you leave this university, you can at least plant 4 trees, we can change Daystar to be so green.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bobedi, you can proceed. Silence, kindly. Let's give him time to respond.
As I stated earlier, I do have a plan. The plan is called the Holistic Student Plan. And mine is to be honest with the students. I'm not coming up with any new initiative. I'm not coming up with any new initiatives. Why? Because Daystar Talanta is there, but is it still active? So there's no point of us coming up with new initiatives and having so many initiatives and they're not functional. So the holistic plan
Silence, silence. Let's give him time to respond. Proceed.
So the holistic plan is basically to improve whatever we have first. Before we start bringing in new ideas, let us look at the ideas we had. I mentioned earlier, SWOT analysis. Let's have a SWOT analysis on all these initiatives we do have from Daystar, the ones suggested by my fellow colleagues here. Let's look at them, have a SWOT analysis, and then we can have discussions of new initiatives. So for me, no new initiative from the SG.
Thank you very much. Let's give them a round of applause as they go to sit down. Silence. As I said earlier, the cheap whistles, kindly keep them aside. And even the vuvuzelas, kindly let's limit the noise. They're very cheap things that destroy our ears. So we're getting to the second last docket. And that is the Deputy President docket. Are you guys ready? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So the first Deputy President who will walk to the podium is Hanifa Chelagat. Kindly make your way to the podium. The next Thank you. Kindly, let's limit the noise. Take the cheap things outside. Take the cheap things outside. Next. The next Deputy President aspirant is called Nicole Wanyancha. Kindly make your way to the podium. The next Deputy President aspirant is going to be Irene Mutua. Kindly make your way to the podium. And lastly, silence guys, silence. Lastly, we are going to have Daisy Shiriku. Kindly make your way to the podium. Silence, 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 silence. silence. So I will repeat 2 house rules. Do not cheer or jeer when the candidate is up there, and the audience and the candidates should stay at their designated areas throughout the debates. Kindly. Moderators, are you guys ready? Go ready. I will hand it over to the moderators.
To the supporters of these aspirants, please maintain silence or we skip this certain docket. We're not going to proceed until you keep quiet. Kindly let's respect each other and let's accord them the time they're supposed to have. We are way behind time and we kindly request for your cooperation. To the supporters of the aspirants on stage, kindly keep your calm. Thank you.
So starting from the very end where we have Daisy, I want you all to introduce yourselves, your name, the major you're taking, and yeah.
Good evening. I'll have to stand here because you cannot see me from here. I'd first like to say...
Kindly, let's keep quiet, please. Or we are not going to continue until you keep quiet.
I'd first like to say thank you so much for the opportunity from you, from the moderators, from the management, ECD, and the whole of the student body for giving me the opportunity to describe my vision for Daystar University. My name is Daisy Peris Omungala Shireku. Thank you. I am a second-year student studying communication, and I aspire to be the next deputy president and the running mate to Stephen Bokore. Finally, considering that I'm aspiring to be the next deputy president, I understand that there's a gap within the academics that need to be rectified so that academic excellence continues to be improved. Thank you.
Oh, okay, thank you. Hanifa, go on.
Greetings, hi. My name is...
Kindly, let's observe silence.
My name is Hanifa Chelagat. I am a student of law, currently at third year. I am aspiring to be the deputy president.
Yes, to you, Nicole. Go on. Go on.
Hi, my name is Nicole Val Wanyacha. I'm studying business administration in Nairobi campus. I'm Felix Ezekiel Ochieng's running mate.
Good evening. My name is Irene Mutua, a third-year student at Daystar Valley Road campus, pursuing communication, and I'm Henry Wanjiru's running mate.
I have this first question, which goes to all of you. You'll answer it one by one. And so my first question is about policy advocacy and how you will address the interests or the issues being brought up by the students, and how effective will you do that, and in which or what time frame? Yeah.
Thank you for your question. I believe that it's important for certain issues to be addressed to also advocate for academic excellency. How I do this is through liaising with, first of all, my council members, the Congress representatives, the administration, and the management as a whole, even the corporate affairs in terms of academic excellency and any other problem that is addressed, that even including that other advocates are aware about this for it to be able to be addressed. Thank you.
So before we go to the second person, there is something that I had put some sentence in the question is, in which time frame do you think you'll make the decisions to be effective?
Which time frame?
Yeah, what do you think?
What I say is, we have one academic year to make a difference, but I only count 2 semesters to make a difference. So through that, I believe. Thank you. So through that, once everyone is aware, once my team is aware that we just have 2 semesters to make a difference, it will make things easier in terms of advocating for things, in terms of being determined, and in terms of also inspiring other students to follow us, to be a united Daystar community. I hope I've answered your question.
Okay, yeah. So next to Hanifa, the same question.
Thank you for the question. It is important to note that for us to have issues, we need to go to the root cause of the issues. And the policies and advocacy of the policies for students means we need to involve the students themselves. We can go to all these offices, but they don't know the issues. It's the students who are suffering. So first of all, to ensure...
Kindly, let's listen to Hanifa. Let's minimize on reaction. Kindly. The team in the back, kindly let's listen to Hanifa.
First of all is to ensure I work hand in hand with the Congress, because they're the ones who have a direct link to the students in terms of the schools. So through them, we can get to the root cause of the issues, and with their help, advocate for this in the various administrative offices that are required to answer the issues. In terms of the time, effective immediately after assuming office of the Deputy President, because we need not to waste time. Acknowledging 2 semesters means we don't have a 3rd semester, no. Because all the semesters are important, and as soon as I enter office, effective immediately, we start working on this together.
So let's observe silence. So maybe in what time frame do you think you can make it to be effective?
Of course, thank you for that. Following the procedures and the protocols involved, 1 semester is enough to talk to the admin and share a vision together, where we meet, where you meet, what we can do, and at what time. Because with that, I'd need guidance from both the administration as well as the students. But 1 semester is enough to make change, because it's a process.
Okay. So next, we are going to Nicole. The same question. Give us your opinion on that.
For policy implementation, to begin with, I'll start with public participation. In order to know what policy to change, I need to know what the students are not comfortable with. On top of that, through the Constitution, the previous constitutional review has not yet been passed, meaning there's still room to change policies in the Constitution. Liaising with congresses.
Kindly let's keep quiet and listen to her, please.
Liaising with congresses to create policies in their schools that still have gaps and need to be amended. Thank you.
Before we go to the second one, you've talked of public participation. So in which period do you think, maybe after assuming office, if you get this position, after what period do you think you can establish that to do with public participation and reacting on the same?
In my manifesto, instead of having 2 academic barazas in a whole academic year, the plan was to have 2 academic barazas in each semester. So during those academic barazas is when the public participation shall happen.
Okay, to the next. Yeah.
So first of all, for me is to look for people who have expertise.
Kindly, let's respect our aspirants. Carry on.
As I was saying, to look for people who have the expertise in academic matters, keeping in mind that I'll be working with the DVC Academic Affairs, and also working with the Congress in order to get to know what are the issues that each school face. Yeah. And for the time frame, within 1 semester, we'll be able to come up with solutions and make the academic excellence as it is in Daystar.
I believe we all came here to listen to what our aspirants have to say. Let's kindly maintain silence and listen to what our aspirants have to say. So the next question goes to Hanifa. How are you going to ensure that the raised concerns by the students, how are you going to ensure that the different concerns raised by students at the different schools are addressed immediately? Because we have seen previously barazas taking place and the suggestions or the cries that the students have not being worked on. Thank you for that. I am an outgoing Congress School of Law, so I have interacted with Congresses in all schools while we were working 2023-2024 tenure. And I have already identified the gap that is in the academic sector because that is where I'll need to focus on. So I'm not going in blind. I already know the gaps that we have. Now from there, we start working on the gaps immediately. It doesn't mean that it will happen like we get the outcome immediately. It means now with what we have, with the statistics gathered, we can actually start from there because we know what is missing, what needs to be added, what needs to be removed, what needs to be worked on. Yeah. Okay. So, thank you so much. Kindly let's minimize on our reaction. We understand that you support these people. Hatujakata. So kindly let's maintain silence. We have very limited time. Kindly. Okay, so the next question goes to Daisy. Do you understand the needs of the students in regards to academics or the office that you stand?
Thank you. Sorry for that. Thank you for your question. Yes, I do understand the needs of the students. I've gotten the opportunity to talk to various Congress aspirants, even students as a whole from the different schools. As a result, for example, in the School of Arts and Social Sciences, specifically the Department of Education, did you guys know, or let me just state that there are less than 150 students that have been enrolled. My idea is to collaborate with corporate affairs and the Destiny program to be able to, for the representatives to be able to represent their schools. And in terms of, now the Destiny program is about where high school students get to learn more about Daystar University and the courses. So if the students or the representatives are given the opportunity to do this, it will be more effective. Another problem, With School of Law, I appreciate the fact that they've introduced public lectures, but there needs to be more public lectures for them to understand what it takes to be in the industry, for them to understand what it takes to be in the job market. And lastly, and on also advocating for more legal practicums. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Daisy. The next question goes to Nicole. What is going to be your criteria for nominating committee members for the Academic Affairs Standing Committee?
First and foremost, the criteria I shall use is 1, the required GPA of 2.5, 2, the integrity one has held, 3, what stands out in this person, what can they implement, and lastly, of course, congresses, because they're in the different various schools, but not all of them, just a few, to represent each school.
So, last one. Okay, to Irene.
Yes.
Okay. To Irene, considering that matters to do with the constitution of Daystar, mostly in the council is under the deputy president, right? Are you informed of that? Okay, so in matters to do with the constitution of the university, if in case there is to be a constitutional review, how will you ensure that it is a smooth process and balanced to ensure that what is being reviewed favors mostly the students and not just the leaders?
So for one, we all know that in Daystar we stand by servant leadership. So when we are reviewing, or rather when the constitution review is being done, we also have to think of the students, because we are serving the students, and that's hence servant leadership. Yeah.
My question is, how will you go about that to ensure that?
So how I'll go about it is to actively involve the students, and by involving them, I let them, or rather my team and I will let them air their issues and how they feel about it, and if at all it is to be reviewed, what are some of the things that can be reviewed in order to favor them and not just us leaders, so that we can have an inclusive Daystar community as one.
Thank you so much, Irene. So the next question is going to cut across all aspirants. In the latest ranking for universities, Daystar happened to have dropped from the initial 14 to 16. My question is, how will you provide provide platforms and encourage students to ensure academic excellence?
Thank you for your question. First of all, I'd love to elaborate on the importance of not only first of all, being guided by the students' opinions, also liaising with the different HODs and deans from the different departments, and also liaising with the management to be able to be guided to make a difference. Furthermore, I also believe that partnerships also play an effective role to make sure this happens. So the Congress representatives play an important role in this. How they organize student barazas and all that, they'll bring partnerships on board. So what I'll manage to do as a deputy president, I'll make sure that I'll liaise with the Congress representatives and the other officials, and including the council members, to ensure that these partnerships are maintained, to also advocate for academic excellency.
So we acknowledge that academics is not similar, for lack of a better word, in terms of everybody has their own strengths. but it is important to know that everybody has an opportunity to go through an institution that has greatness in it. So one of the things that I would advocate for is an openness in terms of the HODs and deans through the Congress to the students. From what I've gathered, from the students I've talked to, sometimes it is hard for these people to be approached, for lack of a better word, where if someone is struggling with something, they might not know who exactly to go to. I'll kind of sort of maybe bring out the high school mentality that we used to have. So I have worked under the academic committee, and during the meetings that we had with the director of studies, where there is follow-up for all these students who have issues. Once probation has been granted to a student, doesn't mean that's the end of the world, where the student will be given guidance by either faculty in their school, where they follow up with the progress of the student. On top of that, it is important to know that people are supposed to be appreciated in terms of their strengths. So ensure that they do not feel left out, they do not feel discriminated because they have not made it, because this is something that cuts across all schools. Lastly, to create platforms, academic platforms for Daystar, we'll start with having MOUs, Memoranda of Understanding, with various firms, organizations, and companies, where they will provide opportunities, not only internship, but also mentorship programs for these schools, because most of us just go to class, we have the theory, but don't know how the groundwork actually is. So with mentorship programs with these institutions, with these programs, where the students will be able to be given an overview of what to expect out there.
Okay. Thank you, Hanifa. Thank you so much. We're going to move to Nicole in 30 seconds. Kindly tell us how you're going to promote academic excellence in order to see that Daystar's standard improves.
To begin with, the end of semester surveys should be moved to mid-semester in order to improve the quality of education.
Kindly let's listen to our aspirants.
When the surveys are moved to mid-semester, there's room for change in order, if, for example, it's a lecturer who has an issue, that can be changed in order for the quality of education to be risen. In cooperation with corporate affairs, to increase the social media presence of Daystar University in order to get more students as well. In cooperation with the congresses, to touch base with the students, because there are eyes and ears as council, to assist us in knowing the issues and in order to put them out there. And to DVC, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Nicole. We're going to move to Irene. Kindly, in 30 seconds, tell us how you are going to promote academic excellence to see that Daystar improves in the ranking come next year.
So for one, we can have mentorship from some of the senior alumni who have been in Daystar. They cut across all different departments in school. And they can come and mentor us students so that we can at least get to raise the bar in terms of our academics. We can as well have seminars which are academic in every semester, in that we get to have people from different sectors. If we are talking about School of Communication, we have different experts who come and take us through the depths of what we are not taught in classes by our lecturers.
So over to the facilitator.
Thank you, Del. So I'm going to give 3 to 4 people. First come, first serve. Kindly make your questions short, don't be personal. I said 4 people, first come, first serve. Make your questions very precise.
Thank you so much. Madam Hanifa, congratulations for making it to the ballot for Deputy President. Though I have a question based on 21st September 2023, at around 9:15 p.m., Congresses were voting over whether the Congress on reading of the budget should be aired live. Madam Hanifa and 15 others voted for a no. Today she's standing telling us that she's transparent, accountable, and she voted for a no. They have looted money in the SOEA, and she was the one who contributed in ensuring it is not aired live. She cannot be our deputy president.
Kindly, when we come out here to ask questions, before you speak, kindly let's be objective, okay? Let it not be personal. Let it not be personal, kindly. I hope all of you are objective, so let's be objective. Let's be objective.
Good evening. Good evening. My question is to Daisy. So we know that you served as a Congress.
Let's give her time to speak, kindly.
So my question is to Daisy, and my question is, we know that you served as a Congress. Can you tell us highlights of you in Congress? And also, what can we look forward to in your leadership? Yeah.
Hi guys, my question goes to all the aspirants. I've had a lot of complaints about the Constitution review. I wasn't there personally, I wasn't following up. I need to know, what are your views on the Constitution review and how should it be handled the next time it ever happens? Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Malik, a nursing student. My question to the Deputy President is...
Kindly, let's give him time.
My question to the Deputy President, given that the predecessor has put Muslim students to be represented by Special Needs Committee through the Constitutional Review, is that also your opinion? Are also Muslim students disabled? Do you deserve to be represented? If yes, how? Thank you.
Good evening. So my first request is, what's your take on equalization of grades? Because it's so unfair that in some school, an A starts with 91, and in some schools, an A starts at 70. I'm just... excuse me, I'm just talking as a scientist. So. And my second question is, if one happens to take retakes unit, I think the unit with the highest grade ndo inafaa kuwa on the transcript, because I think everyone deserves a second chance, and you are giving this person a second chance. I think the first part is always like to be gone. Thank you.
Thank you. Kindly maintain silence as we start with Daisy as she answers the questions. Make it very short and brief because of time.
Guys, kindly, could you just settle down? You hear us out. Thank you. So the first question, okay, first of all, I served as a Congress member in 2021 to 2022. And the things that I achieved together with my fellow Congress members included launching Communication Association of Daystar, launching Daystar Film Club after Asante. Allow me to finish. Launching Daystar Film Club after years of inactivity. And also partnering with Multimedia University to continue exposing especially communication students.
But of course, in any government, there must be a shortcomings and the gap which the person who have a vision must fill. In my administration and in my vision, or whatever I identify, one, there is a disconnectivity between the DUSA Council and the commoners who are the stakeholders of Daystar University.
Okay, next to you, Henry.
So, also would like to start by acknowledging all that the predecessors have done. I also plan to sit under very constant mentorship from them because by the fact that they came before us, they understand how to run these governments better than us. So I plan to make sure that first of all, the council stays intact from the beginning to the end so that we can be able to make sure that all the manifestos of the Congress, which are a representation of the needs of the students, are achieved. Thank you so much.
Okay, next to you, Sakawa.
Yes, for me, Hanifa and I and the whole of Daystar Moja Alliance, we are working on how not only can we advocate for us as students, but we can also advocate for our parents who might not have a say with us here. One example is that if parents are being fined for paying school fees late during exams period, especially this time when people are really struggling financially, those are some of the things that I'll want to eradicate, whether it is introduction of the new laptops, which for me it'll be in the manifesto and all that. So for me, it is working with what we have and also bringing in new partnerships, because in as much as the school might be difficult in terms of finances, we can be able to get finances outside school through partnerships. Asante.
Yes. Next to you.
Having served and in the exiting regime, I happen to enjoy the experience, and I'm in tandem and germane with the issues that were at hand. And I believe what really was the issue there was a lack of involvement of the students. The same was done, but it was somewhat far-fetched. So I believe when things are to be done, we'll start with consulting the students, the Congress and all that, because our role is to represent you. And sometimes what we do might not mirror what you are after. So including you in such processes, I believe, will make things work better. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much for your feedback. And my next question goes to all of you. You are all in charge of advocating for health, transport, catering, security, and all that for the best interest of the students. And you've had so many complaints about the kind of cover that students have in regards to medical and the kind of the policy that the school gets. Right now we're using Equity Afya, and we have had so many concerns being raised. Initially, an ambulance was not there. We had people who have other covers such as NHIF, AR, that were not allowed to get treated from Equity Afya. So what are you going to do in your power to ensure that all these services are going to be available for students? And what are you going to do? What is going to be your criteria in selecting the best medical partners to ensure students can all be included?
Well, pursuant to the Constitution, I'm bestowed with the power of attending tender committees that entails food, security, health, and the likes. And I feel one of the issues we're facing is because it's not as been diversified. We only have Equity Afya. And I feel if the cover is broadened so that it will entail even other health insurance companies, and that will create competition. And when there's competition, I feel like they might have to review the prices. I also feel like some of the pecs that are in there, they are not so sufficient. We should also revise, the tender, because I understand we are confined to specific, outlets. So I feel if I'm my what is it called, insurance is under Equity Afya, I should be allowed to visit any Equity Afya facility regardless of the place.
Okay, thank you so much, Felix. We're going to move on to Sakawa.
Well, that question is close to my heart because I speak with experience. 2 years ago, I was admitted at Coptic Hospital. Actually, I can see some of the Daystar nursing students who took care of me. And when we were at Coptic, the medical cover that which we use in school was denied there. And therefore, my parent had to remove extra money from his pocket so that I can pay for the medical bills. And therefore, such an issue is close to my heart, and that is something that I'm willing to work on when I sit on the tender committee meetings, because I have been a student who has been affected by that, and I'll do my best to make sure that we change that. Asante.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. We're going to move on to Henry. Kindly let's listen to Henry.
Personally, I think this issue about the insurance has blinded us, because healthcare and the risks that come, there are two ways of approaching it. You can either fund the risk or insure the risk. So we have tried insuring the risk, and these insurance companies do not really come through for us. Why don't we try another approach? For instance, 70% of all students in Daystar pay for the medical cover in school. That is 17,500. If we created a fund from the 17,500 for the 5,000 students plus, that translates to over 87 million. And it's us who has the control of what we do with this money, what institutions we go to get our service providers. We do not necessarily have to have a resident hospital here in school. We can go, with that kind of money, we can be able to employ our own doctors.
Thank you so much, Henry. Your time is up. We move to Sakawa. Henry, sorry. My apologies.
Okay. On this question of health and the medical cover for a student, in my knowledge, health is of a paramount importance for any human being. And of course, personally, as one of the students who is under medical cover, I feel what it is. For example, if I start by the limitation of the jurisdiction or accessibility of the medical cover to a certain jurisdiction, whereby a student who is in Mombasa, Garissa, or even Trans Nzoia cannot access that medical cover. And it is the administration and the DUSA Council and our service provider who agreed on that terms. Myself, as a person who represents a student in the tender committee, first of all, I have to negotiate with the service providers that the limitation.
Okay, your time is up. So you need to realize that you guys are making noise when your candidate is speaking and time is running. So we're going to proceed. If at all you want your candidate to air out all their points, kindly keep quiet and allow them to speak. So we are going to proceed to the next question, which is we're going to start from Rob. Cuts across to all of you. In 60 seconds, kindly state the reasons as to why you feel fit for this position.
Thank you very much. Number one, I believe in representation. Number two, I believe in equity and equality for all comrades. Two, I believe in the leadership which centered students as we respect the decorum of their institution. And the last one, God has given me that ability as a leader to always lead from the front.
Thank you so much, Rob. So we are going to move on to Henry. Kindly let's give Henry the 1 minute he deserves.
Personally, I feel the biggest issue we have as Daystar and as a country is that we do not have adequate resources, and the resources that we have are mismanaged. So personally, what I'm bringing to the table is my corporate strength. Aside from school, me and some of my friends have been able to run an organization, and I have been able to look for partners, source for partners, and to the extent of partners like MasterCard, where we've been able to get to the tune of tens of millions. So what if as Daystar we are able to approach the same, what if as Daystar we use the same approach? We get funds from elsewhere, from corporates, from alumni, from the master students. We have very serious master students in Daystar. So basically what I'm bringing to the table is my corporate strength. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Henry. We're going to move on to Andrew Sakao.
Well, for me, I'll answer that question in a different way. I have lost an election. I have been disrespected. I have been insulted. And at the end of the day, I still stand here. Why? Why? Because I have hope. I'm selling hope to the students. I don't want to create division. There's no Daystar Nairobi. There's no Daystar at the river. There's only one Daystar, Daystar University.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the support. We're going to move on to our next candidate, Felix. You have 60 seconds.
I'm the best fit for this job because this being a Christian university, first of all, I'm a man after God's own heart. I also do possess the requisite skills to handle such a job. I've served in DUSA. I know the whereabouts. I know the know-how. And I'm also in tandem with the issues that you students face. I sleep in the hostels. I use the school bus here. And I've been here for a while. So I believe I'm the best fit for the job because I'm in tandem with the issues. Thank you.
So our last question. Thank you so much for your support, but we have very limited time. So to our very last question, we're going to start with Felix. In a situation where the grievances of the students that you're supposed to air to the administration collide with the stand of the administration, what do you do?
I don't feel at any time such a situation will be that gross. I'm thinking a thing like the constitutional review. We can always look at it from both ends. And I feel being a leader as I am, I can always champion for a common ground.
You're done? Okay. Thank you, Felix. We move on to Andrew.
For Hanifa and I, together with the Daystar Moja Alliance, we believe in diplomacy. Because at the end of the day here, we are not trying to fight the administration. We are trying to come, partner up, and see what we can do for the students. because at the end of the day, we will fight them and we will be out of office. And that is one reason why during the start of OUR, I decided to keep quiet because I felt that it needed not to be filled with the insults and it needed to be filled with purpose, in as much as I did not talk vocally against the opposition and the review. I decided that I'll push my agenda, whether I was silent, but the students know I'm the one who started OUR and I'm the one who finished it. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for your support. We move on to Henry. Why do you feel fit? In a situation where the grievances of the students collides with the stand of the administration, what do you do?
First, I have been elected to be the student president of Daystar University. That means that the view of the students is what I stand to represent, first of all. But second, I understand we should, as leaders, we should come to a position where we also take time and understand how the various stakeholders in these offices think. They are from a different generation, and so we should understand how we approach them. So I believe if we approach them in the right language, they all have a burden for us. They all love us so much, and that is where they are here with us day in, day out. So if we just speak to them in a language that they'll understand, they'll be willing to partner and come on board with us. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Henry. We proceed to Rob.
A quick reminder from a quote by Martin Luther King Jr. that the most pressing, persistent, and urgent question is, what are you doing for others while they need your support? And I want to tell you this. Please, keep my time. As a law student and as a democratic person, I believe in negotiation. In such a situation, I always advocate for a common ground whereby the administration and the student benefit in an equal measure.
You're done? Rob, you finished? Thank you so much. You're going to hand it over to the facilitator.
Thank you so much. So next we're going to have questions from the crowd. I'm going to pick only 4 questions. First come, first serve. Kind reminder, kindly don't be personal. If you have any questions that are personal, try and look for the aspirants through their WhatsApp numbers. So you'll go first. Be very precise and to the point.
So my question goes to each and every one of you. Can you hear me? So my question is, what makes you think you stand out better than each one of the other competitors? You can't hear me? So my question is, what makes you think you stand out better than your other competitors vying for the same position?
So I suggest that you guys note down the questions and then you answer when all questions are done. Yes?
I believe that question has been answered when we asked why they think they qualify for the position.
Okay.
So proceed to the next question.
Okay, next person. Kindly be very brief and to the point.
Thank you. We have been having a lot of problems with our presidents because they don't understand their role in office. Number one is because they don't have a mission, they don't have a vision, they don't have a philosophy. I'm talking of that because there are Congress here who are going to be elected and they're very smart like Xander. But they're going to work with people problem with the hypocrisy of Mr. Sakawa. He comes here and he lies so much.
Kindly, before we continue, we don't need comments. We just want questions. No comment, just a question.
Okay. Okay, my question.
Let's keep quiet.
My question.
Silence.
My question goes to Felix. Felix, you are a Luo.
Wait. Can you go straight to the point?
We are not going to mention tribes.
Felix Oduori, you are a Luo and your deputies are
We are not going to mention tribes here. Thank you so much. Have a seat.
That is not a question. That's a statement. Order. We repeat, if you are standing, please ask a question. Even if your statement leads to the question, please start with the question.
So next, ask your question and be brief.
So we are not continuing with the debate until he leaves the room. And we are not going to condone such behavior.
1, 2.
Let's not forget the values of Daystar University as we finish our debate. Kindly. Okay, so let's continue, Beverly.
Kindly let's settle down, sit down, and keep quiet.
Let's keep quiet.
Don't be personal. If you have personal questions, I repeat, you can follow them on their Instagram accounts.
I'm sorry about that, Bona Felix. My question goes to Felix.
Let's keep quiet. Just ask your question. Go forward.
Felix, as a student, not many of us come from well-off background. And during the vetting process, we are informed you are intimidated by being asked to choose scholarship or vying. So as a student, that is so depressing, and you are also a student. What are you going to do so that the coming students who will be vying, they don't use perfect means on them? That is using someone's vulnerability to attack them. It really touched on me, and it has attached many students. What do you plan to do so that they stop asking such questions to students vying? My second question is to my brother Bokore. I believe Daystar is one. I believe Daystar is one, and as a student who have attended international political system class, we have geopolitics where we don't have, centralization of power for equal distribution of resources, and so that, again, equal understanding of students. You are a team leader, and in your team, we can see president, SG, treasurer, speaker, both are from Athi River campus. As a Nairobi student, I feel left.
Guys, let's
Beverly,
be
thank you
silent.
so much.
Felix, kindly answer the first question only. Be very brief and to the point. Are you comfortable answering the first question?
The first question has to be addressed to the ECD.
Felix is not in charge of vetting or any presidential candidate, so he is not in a position to answer that. I actually don't think there's any substantial objective question that has been asked for that office. So,
thank you so much. Can we give a round of applause as they go down to sit? Announcements. If you're going to Nairobi, your buses are waiting for you at the bus park. And with that, all the best to all the aspirants.